7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
He has a lot of problems.
Struggle to be top 5 in points at the end of the season.
Wow. You bleach your hair, you're a sellout. Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show. This is episode number 234. I'm your host, Travis. Thank you for tuning in. We are going to wrap up a wild night of racing there at the East Rutherford, a.k.a. New Jersey Supercross. We had futures. We had a 250 showdown. We had a thunderstorm. We had a 450 race. The shit was wild. It was absolutely wild. Joining me in studio, he is back, everybody. And I'm minorly attracted to him now because of the new haircut. It is the original co-host. It is Justin.
What's up, bud?
Hey, man. Dude, I have missed you.
I missed you too, man.
When I text you like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, hey, man, you like come back or something? Like, I feel like we're fighting because we don't talk. Anything like that. I mean, that was sincere. That was from the heart.
Oh, no. We haven't talked much since Detroit.
No.
Talked a few different times. You asked me about some houses. That's about it.
Pretty much.
I mean, you're obviously busy. I'm busy. We're all busy, so it's kind of hard. But yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It's been, well, that was what, early March? So it's been over almost a month and a half.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a bit. So
I've been watching you guys. I mean, I don't really have time to watch the whole shows, but I definitely go back and forth, and I still read those comments to see if people are shitting on you guys.
Did you watch, or did you listen to last week's with Coach there? Because me and Coach got into a lot of stuff.
So I listened to like the first 20 minutes straight, and then I like chopped it up and moved to like 55 because I saw you guys started talking about the electric bikes. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to hear that. So I basically first 20 minutes, and then from 55 all the way till the end. Okay. So there was like 30 minutes in there where I didn't listen.
You should go back because we touched on fucking everything in that show, dude. It was wild. The thing I like about it, it's a lot of evergreen content, and because I was busy this week and I didn't get a chance to really chop up the episode there, I'm pretty pumped because those will be videos I can just put out whenever we're short on stuff. So, anyway, thanks everybody for joining us here. Before we get started, so we have a couple things. I believe Kev's coming on at some point. Cole is not here. He started his new job. He's got a ton of paperwork he's got to do kind of in between here. We're going to ask him about that because we're going to call him here in a few minutes. And then we're going to talk 450s. We're going to talk 250s. We'll talk the futures. We're going to talk some Bobby Piazza drama because we've got to touch on a lot of that.
Wanted to talk about
because, oh, buddy, I got in the middle.
Have you talked to Bobby?
Yes.
Did you call? Oh, say it.
I didn't call him. I was texting him the other night. I might have even reached out to Feld.
You know, the one thing I'll say, and I assume since you've talked to him and you've obviously kept up on this shit like I have, you've like read all the different content and comments from people.
And there's a lot of stuff that's happened.
Are you as surprised as I am? And we won't go off on too much of a tangent until we talk about it. How people are either one side or the other. People are either for what Bobby did and the bullshit that is going on, or people like totally took Feld and like the security guard. I was surprised. I thought there'd be like a medium. It's either one way or the other.
So I didn't dive too much into the comments section.
Oh,
and read.
I did. I listened. I saw what Starling and Clay and Cade and all them.
I just was trying to get both sides of the story from the actual people. So from Bobby and then from what's it called, and then actually Johnny and them on the shit show on Friday had one of Bobby's buddies who was there with him. So that was really enlightening as to kind of maybe what happened. There's always three sides to the story. There's one side, the other side, and the middle of what actually happened. Yep. So, but yeah, like I said, we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, because that story is very.
There is a mix of the TLR tinfoil hat and the Complete Racing Solutions comment of the week coming up.
Okay.
We got a mix there, so that's interesting. I don't have a rant this week.
I kind of have a rant.
Perfect. Maybe I'll come up with one here.
Which I assume that my rant, you'll probably agree with it. It has to do with the race.
Well, I do have a little bit of a rant also. But we'll get into that.
Yep.
Before we get started, let's thank our sponsors. So first up, show presented by Complete Racing Solutions. Check them out, CompleteRacingSolutions.com. Coach Rob can scientifically help you both on and off the bike. Coach Rob was on last week. That was a banger episode of Coach dropping a bunch of knowledge. He dropped some stuff too. I called him back after the show was over. We talked about a few things. I'll fill you in after the show on that kind of stuff because it's stuff I don't really want to talk about on the air yet. Also presenting the show, TLR Coatings. Check them out at tlrcoatings.com. They are Michigan's #1 custom powder coating shop. We are full blown. It is fucking nutty what's happening on that side of the wall out there. Me and Justin were just talking about it. It's insane. They can powder coat anything metal the proper way and do all sorts of custom stuff with Cerakoting, powder coating. Check them out again, tlrcoatings.com. Serving Southwest Michigan and the surrounding areas for over 7 years. And you can also check them out on all the major social media networks at TLR Coatings. Also on board with us, Holster Co, Gutter Worx, Adept Creative Co, Issac Nelson Designs, who actually designs our shirts, and we do have I'm working on it here. We do have the Kawasaki, which is ironic because of Cole's new job. The Kawasaki shirt design. We had the HRC to premiere this year here. I've had the Kawasaki one.
I've worn that a few times in different places, a couple bars. Everybody thinks it's cool. They don't obviously know what it is, but they're like, that's a cool design.
Well,
and then I go to explain it to them, and then they're like, they don't ride dirt bikes, but they're like, well, check it out. And
it's
I'm
a
like,
podcast I do, man. And if you want to buy the shirt, let me give you the link here. So shout out to Issac Nelson because he designs all that stuff. And then Edgewood Farms for all our CBD needs. They are hooking us up with that there, from pain balm to CBD oil, all that kind of good stuff. So links in the description down below for all that kind of stuff. Okay, I guess let's get started here. Let's call Cole, see what he wants to talk about. I don't know. He said he had like 30 minutes, so maybe he wants to do the 450 race recap with us here. Maybe not. Who knows?
who knows?
Watch him not fucking answer.
Probably not.
I'm going to be so pissed. This is great radio. Yo. Sup, bro?
What's up?
Oh, hey, pal.
What's up? Am I live?
Yeah, we're live, bro. We're live, so don't say anything you don't want your new bosses to hear.
Oh, I'm sure they're listening.
They probably are.
Could be.
We are a pretty...
They might be.
We're a pretty big podcast, man. Pretty big podcast. Dude.
Hey, I did run into some guys at the motorcycle club yesterday. I was at the BCMC meeting.
Oh, yeah?
And they said they were listeners. So
Hell
it was pretty
yeah.
cool.
Hell yeah. Well, I actually got, I cracked open, I've been working on the bike today, putting it together, got the front end put together, so I cracked open that TCD suspension box. They wrote me a nice note saying that they've been listening to the show in the shop there, catching up on old episodes. They really like what we're doing. They sent me a hat and a shirt that I'm wearing. They are not an official sponsor.
Maybe
but
they could be, though.
They could be if they wanted to be. And look, they did a nice job on my suspension so far from what I see. They're very professional. I like it. So I'm wearing this stuff. So, again, check them out, tcdracing.com. And, dude, Cole, I got to say, you're missing. Justin has this new look going on. And this motherfucker, I mean, dude, we're talking haircut, hair gel, beard trim. Like, this is not the man bear
You're
pig.
shitting me.
No, I fucking kid you not. Even Ashley's like, it's a good looking dude right now. And,
Damn,
dude,
I can't wait. I'm going to have to watch the video, but good to have you back, Justin, for real.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
You'll
Appreciate
know.
it. We'll be here. We'll be here for the next 4 rounds, and then if we still decide to do an outdoor show,
I'm going to need you for outdoors.
Okay. All right.
Because let's face it, Cole is a Supercross only guy.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I was fucking being nothing only there for a minute, so
you
it's
were.
fine. Like,
You were. And, hey, look, let me just start with a little Holster Co. reload rant here.
Uh-huh.
You dropped the fantasy show, then you dropped the main show, and then you're fucking playing fantasy.
I was
You
wondering,
fucking dick.
I was wondering how long
we saw
you fuckers it would take you to fucking realize that shit. So here's what I've been doing. I've been picking fantasy shit since like I don't know what round it was indie, but I've literally just been picking people and fucking seeing what happens, not even looking at my shit until the next race. And it was funny because I was like, oh dude, I'll be like 180, 185. There's a couple rounds that I was like 7th or 8th in the league, and I was like, how the fuck do I not pay attention and then be I don't know.
That's exactly how it
Yeah,
works.
I think that's part of it is you think too much.
So yeah, I was doing it, just fucking. But that's the thing, though. That's why I didn't say I'd be on, because it's not like I was really like looking at like I was not even looking at practice times. I was like what I'd see on the track during qualifying, and then I just pick dudes.
I mean, I think it works for some people, but it is what it is.
So Cole, how was the new job this week? You're out in Cali there at the Kawasaki Racing headquarters. Did you talk to Ando? Is he coming on the show? How's your coworker doing, man?
I guess we are coworkers. I don't know if this sounds conceited or not, but I was gonna tell my dad, I'm like, hey, we got a factory ride with no result.
That's awesome.
But no, it's cool, man. No Anderson, none of those guys. I did go into the bathroom during a break. We had like a training session with some of the dealers that had just picked up Kawasaki. So some of them were out there, and so we were doing some training all day, stuff like that. But during the break, I did catch myself taking a leak next to Mr. Dan Fahey.
I was just about to say something about if you. So Cole, if you run into Ryan Holiday, just go up and give him a big high five.
He was supposed to. So fast forward to the last day I was there, I got to go in the race shop, private tour.
That's sick.
That's dope.
Super cool. A lot of stuff I saw that I can't talk about on air, but yeah, super cool. They had tons of cool, the factory side, and then they got the amateur side is actually there too. So Team Green, like the legitimate amateur kids. So I think it's Landon Gordon right now is their super mini guy.
Yeah, that kid's fast. That kid's fast.
Yeah,
well, all those
Janik and Drew Adams. They're based out of that shop there at the Kawasaki headquarters. And I did not see Ryan Holiday or Dan Fahey, obviously being on Friday. Or Thursday. Those guys were all off at the next race or doing what they were doing. So it was supposed to be Dan and Ryan doing the presentation, but it wasn't. So
the real question is when are you buying your new KX450?
May 18th, I will be finding out more on that KX450.
Nice.
So
honestly, man, I just threw that out there into the ether. I didn't know if you were actually buying a new one. I just remember on two shows ago, you guys made a comment about it. So like, I didn't know if you were actually getting one. I was just kind of figuring you'd buy a KX450.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I really have a choice now.
No, not really.
So unless I get a 250F or something, but yeah, man, it was a super cool experience. Got to hang out at the headquarters, meet everybody that I'll be working with as far as warranty department, parts and accessories, all that stuff, man. It was a phenomenal facility. The cool little museum in there. Mm-hmm. So if you check out my Instagram, some of that stuff, I posted a couple pictures, but they had Villapoto's bike from 2013 when he got his third title. The one with the blue hubs and the blue triple clamps and stuff.
Yep.
So super cool, like to get up and like touch that thing, and like I could have sniffed it if I wanted to.
Only where his taint was.
Yeah. Just the seat. And then Emmig's bike was right next to it from '97 when he won the title.
That's cool. Nice, that'd be cool.
And I didn't really respect that bike as much as I did until seeing it in person. But that is a pretty badass bike.
Oh, dude, the Cowies back in the day, man. At least Emmig's were they were trick, dude. For their time, for late '90s, mid '90s, late '90s bikes, they were trick.
Yeah. I just noticed the carbon fiber and stuff on it. I think was a little ahead of its time with some of the case guards and the fork guards and some of that stuff.
Well, especially at that time, too.
Yeah. And then right next to that was Stu's 07 450 from the Supercross title.
Did you sniff that one?
I definitely sniffed that one, too.
Yeah, I would have, too.
It had Bridgestones on it. Had the factory Bridgestones and all that stuff. And then something that you would think is pretty cool, Justin, is they had some of the amateur stuff on the other side. Villapoto's Kawasaki with the green rims on it, number 15 from Loretta's.
Nice. Oh yeah, that thing was a beast.
Yep, they had that bike there, and then in between that was Stu's Pro Circuit 85.
You mean the one that probably put out like 35 horsepower?
Right, yeah. Well, no, the big horsepower bike was next to that. It was AC's Monster Cup Super Mini.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the fucker that sounded like it had a 252 stroke engine in it. I know. We raced that bike a couple
basically
times.
a 125 probably, but
They were just
Yeah, I'll have to
talking
show you
about
some
that.
pictures.
Fucking bike's ridiculous.
Yeah, or I'll send you some pictures of it. Pretty cool. And so yeah, that was pretty cool to see, and just the inner workings of the company. And it was also really cool that the president and CEO was actually there. His name is Ego. He's from Japan, and I just thought it was interesting that they Japanese companies. So my mom works for Denso, which is also a Japanese company. I guess it's a common thing, but every 5 years they send a new CEO over. So they rotate them out every 5 years. They have an agenda to come get things done. They get it done, and then they go back to Japan. So got to meet him. Pretty cool. He, obviously the language barrier, but he was like, "Hello, my name Ego, like Lego my ego."
That's awesome.
They probably worked on that joke for hours.
Oh God, it was cool. It was funny and cool. Just I have the head honcho there. He didn't have to be there. So yeah, it's cool, man. There's some cool stuff in the pipe that I've been hearing rumors about and kind of confirming some of that stuff. But some cool stuff coming, and it's kind of karma, I guess you could say, because as we all know, Wyman was a big Kawasaki guy.
Oh, he's thinking about going to Yamaha, so don't worry.
Does he want to buy a
Cowie
21?
Yeah, does he want? Yeah. No, he wants to get a 252 stroke, I think.
Lame.
Well, yeah. I talked nothing but shit to him about being a Cowie guy my whole life.
Oh yeah, for sure. He has definitely been Cowie.
So just never really been into Cowie or anything like that. And then, man, after getting there and meeting everybody in the company and the family culture and all that stuff, it's pretty damn cool, man. And
it's awesome.
All the winning they've done too on the racing side is just an added bonus. So it's cool.
Well, I know you can't say much about it because, and I've only seen like pictures of it for prototype pictures. But was there any mention of the new 450 for next year? Did they talk about it at all?
They did not. So May 18th, I go back out, and I believe that is when stuff will happen. I don't know. We just have another meeting in May 18th. So I'd imagine there might be some stuff going around about it, but because the May meeting is usually built around Team Green, as they call the program. So anything that's off-road, your KLX 110s, 140s and stuff. So so they were explaining that. And then they did make mention, I believe I can say this just because they mentioned it to all the dealers in the room, that they're going to be attacking the off-road market within the next few years. So that'll be interesting as well.
That'll be interesting to see.
Coolest thing
they just did they just got into it with Babbitt's off-road team, and I think Grant Baylor delivered them a title already. The bike was there, all dirty still.
Well, I'm pretty sure they won an XC2 title last year as well for Babbitt's. I don't know who the kid is because I don't pay attention to GNCC.
Or no, that kid. That's the kid. Yeah. That's the bike was there. It wasn't Grant Baylor, but it was that kid. I forgot his name.
Well, hopefully they can do some more marketing on that side because there was like no mention of that whatsoever. And this kid like went out, and I think it's been quite a while since Kawasaki has won a title in that class, if ever.
I don't think they probably ever have.
Yeah, because I mean they've always done well in the XC1 class and stuff, like when Caleb Russell wasn't, when he was hurt. But yeah, like that was a big deal, and somebody was talking about this. I can't remember where I heard it, but they were like, they kind of feel like they dropped the ball on that because they're like, that's a big deal for them to win an XC2 title because that's something they've never done before.
Right. Yeah. So I think there's going to be some more focus in that world. Obviously with KTM success and stuff like that over there, you have Yamaha trying to get in the game a little bit, and and Kawasaki. So I don't think Honda is really into it all that much. So
Honda's more into Baja and like the Worx stuff on the West Coast.
Right.
Like they got the Phoenix team. They got the Phoenix team that's just really, really good. But yeah, it definitely seems like Honda as far as off-road stuff, obviously with Johnny Campbell and the SLR team, they're more focused on the West Coast, like more fast-paced shit. Like they got Ryan Surratt riding for Johnny Campbell Racing, and he's been doing really well over there in the Worx series.
Yeah. I mean, and me starting to get into some of the wood stuff a little bit, it's pretty cool to have a little focus on that. But
it's a whole different animal.
Learning the street bike side too, which is pretty wild. That's funny story. Travis will laugh because he's kind of a street guy, but they had all of the street bikes that Cowie offers for a demo ride. I just went and took the test this last week to get my motorcycle endorsement permit.
Sick.
Never ridden on the street in my life until this event. So Wednesday we got on the demo bikes and went off and went on a canyon ride, and that was my first time on the street ever.
Cool. What'd you ride?
So I rode the Ninja 400 first, and I was like, wow, this thing is definitely a beginner bike. So if you're in the market to get in the game as a beginner, go the Ninja 400, and then Travis will laugh. The next bike I rode was the ZX6R.
Yeah, that's a big difference between that 400 and that 6R, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
He's like, shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yes, that 6R was stupid, dude. I don't know how anybody rides a crotch rocket.
They're fun. Wait, did you get on a ZX10, or did they not have those out there?
No, none of those.
Cole's like,
how about
fuck
the
that.
H2? What do you know about the H2?
The H2 I would never get on because it's instant death. Like, dude, there's like a limit. Okay, so like the ZX10s are fast, okay? Like those things are sick, they're fast. And back when I was into street bikes really heavy, like they were super cool. However, also when I was really into street bikes, I also rode a CBR 1000RR Repsol bike, which was again stupid. And then I actually had a random guy, and I've told this story before, of when the BMW S1000 RRs came out, like the first year.
I remember those.
I was at an event. I was actually at Chopper Fest at the drag strip, and we were doing a stunt riding show. And this guy had one, and he came up. I was like, "Dude, that's sick." And he was like, "Well, if you want to ride it, go ahead." Like, I have no idea who this guy is. And I'm like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Bro, I've been watching you ride. Like, I know you can ride a bike. Like, just go." And he's like, "It's fully insured. So if you do start to crash, like, total that motherfucker." And I'm like, "Okay, sweet." And I kid you not, all the other thousands I've rode, and even some of the older Hayabusas that I've rode, are nothing compared to what this fucking bike was. This thing was so far ahead of its time, because this had to be 2012, 13. It was one of the first years they first came out. And it was, I'm sure, what the bikes are now, because, again, I haven't rode a lot of recent crotch rockets, but it was like you had to use the clutch to take off. And after that, it was all just, you could just shift it. It was electronic. So, like, you could just bang fucking gears. And I did on this thing with no gear on in a pit lane at the drag strip. And before I knew it, I was doing 100 miles an hour. And I went, whoa, time out.
Shut her down.
Stop. So,
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what they are today. And that H2 is just like 4 levels above what that even is. And it's just stupid. Like, there's no reason for that. I've always said, like thousands are dumb and you don't need them. And once you get over thousands into the Hayabusas and all this other stuff.
Did you ever ride any of the Gixxers?
Yeah. So I had a Gixxer 600 at one point that I sold. I rode a turbo Hayabusa, like a 99 turbo Hayabusa. And I remember coming down Sprinkle Road at 55. This was back when Eminem was still Eminem there. And I was coming kind of down that hill to the light there, and I just rolled on it, going 55, and I broke the ass end of that thing loose at 55. I rode. Did I ride I don't think I rode a Gixxer 1000 or 750. So yeah, so I have rode a Gixxer 600. Again, they're all so fucking fast. Like that Repsol bike.
Yeah,
I took the 94. 131 exchange. I was going 131 south, and I did the exchange onto 94 east, so coming up to the Oakland exit. And between the merge point and the merge point for the Oakland exit, I went from like 50 to 120 and back down. And to the point that I was at 120 long enough, I could look down and see I was doing 120 and went, yep, this thing's fucking fast. So... yeah, dude.
Big street bike guys,
dude.
Basically.
They're dumb. They're fucking dumb.
Dude, we worked on a couple turbo Busas, and like I've been around like drag, like full on pro mod drag bikes and stuff. They go like 6 seconds and a quarter mile. So like it's nothing I've never been around. But it's one thing to do that where it's set up for everything. But we had a couple turbo Busas that had 2 steps on them, and this guy on our, you remember that road on Winter's Drive, like
yeah.
So like this guy gets over there and we get it done for him, and there was nobody around. It's like 5 o'clock, and he's like, I'm gonna bring this thing up on the 2-step because I haven't like dialed this motor in yet, and I don't know what we were doing on it. And I'm like on this road. I'm like, dude, what? Are you stupid? And he's like, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm like, no, it won't, because if you like pitch it out, you're going into a ditch. You'll be like, I'm fine. And that motherfucker came up on the 2-step, and I'm like, phew. And I'm like, dude, no way on nope. Mm-mm.
They're so dumb, and the problem is that you can buy them with like Cole just did.
You can buy a 200 mile per hour street legal bike.
Yeah, well, they're governed.
That's what I'm saying.
They're
like
governed
a guy,
to 180. But they're stupid, and you can't control them. So one time, I'm leading this ride when I used to do the Tuesday night bike nights up at the library there, and we were coming down not Westinge. We were coming down Sprinkle where Wendy's is there at that light, and there was probably like 20, 30 bikes. And the light changed, so I stopped the whole group, and all of a sudden I just hear this Middle Eastern kid with his oil money, and that's not a racist comment. That's what it was.
It's just factual.
On his Gixxer 1000, literally wasn't paying attention, didn't know how to ride, and like is skidding between 15 rows of bikes because we were 2x2 right down the middle and just right into the middle of the intersection. And then he's backing up, and I'm just like, oh my God.
So you have fun, Cole.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they're great, but people in cars, all this stuff, man.
You just can't trust them.
And
sketchy, dude.
that canyon riding is sketchy if you don't know where you're going and you're trying to push any sort of limit, which I'm sure you weren't, but...
Yeah, well, we had a guide, and we didn't go into anything super curvy.
Yeah.
Then we ended at Oakley headquarters, which was cool.
That's
dope.
cool.
That's fucking sick.
Didn't get to go in, though, but it's right around the corner from the factory building, Kawasaki, so...
Nice.
I will say one of the coolest things I ever did on a street bike is when they had the Moto GP at Indianapolis. They had, you could pay, I don't remember what it was, $80, $100, something like that. You could go out and ride a lap on the track. So me and the guys I went with, we paid and we did that, and that was super cool. Like,
this is when you met Marquez.
Yeah, this is when Marquez
didn't
gave me a high five, and I didn't wash my hand for 5 days. Yeah, so we went and did that, and that was cool. And the whole thing was like when you did it, we had leaders too, and we weren't going to go over 40. All this stuff. Well, that wasn't the case. We definitely went faster than 40, and then when we left the track there, because you basically just went out, did your one lap, and then came off. And when we did that, I was like, well, I know where all the cops are, because they were like, I was asking as I was going up there, I'm like, what if I ride a wheelie down the front stretch? They're like, you will go to jail. And I'm like, shit. So we left, and I'm like, well, there's 87 cops in the track. Okay, no problem. So I rode a wheelie on the street in front of the racetrack. The entire length from turn 4 to turn 1 with my two buddies and some random people that were in the group with us, because we all left at the same time. And I was like, screw it, I know where all the cops are, and I rode that wheelie. I have it on tape too. Like, I have the footage somewhere.
Look, I'm not super into MotoGP, but I it's kind of like the same thing with Formula 1. I'd like to go to one.
Insane.
I'd like to go to one. It'd be cool.
So they have on the back straight there, they have a bridge, a walking bridge that goes over the back straight in the infield there. And you wouldn't think that motorcycles move that much air. Shakes that fucking bridge when they go under it at 150, 200 miles an hour, dude. It was nuts.
Yeah, I would go.
Pretty boring to watch, to be honest with you.
I mean, the same people say about Indy cars and Formula 1,
yeah.
but it's like it's kind of an experience thing.
But it's different. You just hear the bikes and feel the bikes and all that stuff.
Yeah. So,
Justin,
what's up, bud?
Did you know Travis back in his stunt bike days?
No, so when I first met Travis, which oddly enough, we found this out years later, that we actually went to high school together, but we just didn't know each other. I had met Travis when he was still doing this, like still riding road bikes, but I don't think you were doing stunt bike shit when I first met you.
I was on my way out.
Yeah.
Because, I had gotten into dirt bikes at 25, which would have been 2000. So that's like 7 years after graduating. I've been like 2014, 15. Yeah,
which is right on the time that I first met you.
Yeah, so I was on my way down off the real stunt riding stuff.
Which is oddly enough, the reason why I even knew who you were was from Mike, who was around you when you did stunt bike shit.
Yeah.
So So no, I didn't meet him when he was actually doing the stunt bike shit.
Oh, because I was just picturing a guy, riding through campus, doing wheelies with like a wife beater on. Those go fast.
No.
You know the glasses that Jeremy Albright wears.
Yeah.
When he was a mechanic.
Yeah.
the really fast looking glasses.
No.
White beater.
Let me paint.
bandana,
There's so many stereotypes
some
going on right now.
Let me paint. Let me.
some Janko jeans.
Oh Jesus!
No.
And just
Some true
rolling up
religions.
to the library.
Pause.
Just rolling up to the library. and
Let
being
me
like,
let me paint.
Library.
Let me paint
Hang
this.
on, bro. Let me finish.
Hanging out, smoking some
Rolling
hookah.
up to the library, putting her in neutral, just giving a little run,
Oh,
and
boy.
then
He's gonna love
putting
this.
the kickstand
Oh,
down,
Jesus.
looking over at the first chick and going, "What's up, bitch?"
No. Let me paint this picture. So number one,
Biker boys.
Number one, we always parked in the fire lane next to the patio. And,
Oh, boy.
And at one point, one of the bouncers decided he was going to be a hard ass, come over, start yelling at us, and I told him to fuck right off. That didn't go over. That didn't go over super well.
Hang on. Before you get further, basically what I'm picturing is Fred Durst.
No. We were past that point a little bit. And I never really rode without a helmet, like ever. There's like 2 times I did, and they were very specialty times. But we'll get into that a different day. No, so I would wear shorts and t-shirts when it was really hot. And no, there was not throw it into neutral and give it a little rev. Okay, there was when we rolled out of fucking library there, we would turn right and go down through campus there. And my favorite thing was to put it into second, wind it up to as fast as it would go in second, which with the bike being geared for that was about 40 miles an hour, and then pull the clutch in and just bounce that thing off rev limiter
15,000 RPMs
the entire way down that road. And literally all I would do is like rev limiter, and as I would slow down, I would slip the clutch, so it was like all the way until we reached the other end by campus.
Never
point.
grenaded a motor.
No, same fucking motors in that bike right there.
How
That was
wild
the
is
bike I did it on.
How wild is it to think that at that time, like that was considered cool?
Oh my
I was the coolest
God.
fucking guy
Because
there.
nowadays people would be
such
like,
a
"What the fuck is wrong with you?"
dude.
They're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Dude, think about it. Everybody pays all this big money for these cars to have these flames and gurgles and pops, and I was doing it for fuck $1,000 in that
Yeah,
bike.
and unless the motor is a fucking rotary motor, it's louder than a fucking car.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Yep. Nope. That would be what I did, dude. And it didn't matter if I was by myself or I would do it with a chick on the back too. Like it was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I mean-
I was picturing.
Look,
How many times you go up and down Fraternity Village Drive?
all the
with a
time.
chick on the back?
I would get there, basically undo the zipper and just flop it out
Oh
and be
my
like,
God.
"Yep, big dicks here, boys.
Oh
big
my
dicks
Is that
here."
why there's a giant dent in the top of the gas tank?
Exactly. My balls had to sit in it, bro.
Oh.
So
Not because he was sitting on the tank doing fucking wheelies on it.
no,
but
bro. The
So
frat,
yeah, basically, yeah, Fred Durst.
something like that. So
Oh my
Did you
God.
listen to Chocolate Starfish?
I have that on my 2022 playlist in my phone, bro.
Oh yeah, he was getting on his crotch rocket listening to break stuff on the way to work.
Jesus.
Yeah, sometimes. So
Oh my God.
you got anything
Funny.
else?
Well, anyway, enough about me, crotch rockets, Kawasaki, and whatever. Let's talk about the race, boys.
Well, we are, because we're going to call Kev. We're going to let you go, and we're going to call Kev.
Oh my God.
Oh, you're letting me go right now? Hang
Yeah.
on a second. I had a couple things I was going to ask you guys. What time's Kev coming on?
As soon as I get off the phone with you here, like 30 minutes ago.
Oh, you didn't lock him in with a time.
Dude, I asked, and then he never responded. That I texted him 15 minutes ago I said status, and he said, "Oh shit, call." And I said, "Give me 5 minutes."
20 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago.
Nice.
Unprofessional shit. Anyway, all right. Well, I will leave you guys with a couple topics if you guys want to jump on them. I did have my Cowie experience on there I was going to talk about, so we've knocked that out.
Yep.
Barsh, to me, might be becoming one of the older guys that you appreciate more and like a little more. He seems to be turning some kind of little leaf. He talked really slow on the podium, which was weird. And, that little comment about AP makes me think that AP might be on a gas next year.
Possibly.
So
that's a big
I
rumor.
think it'd be really cool and great for the sport to have both of those guys on the same team.
Well, it's going to be that or Spanish, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Second thing, dude, how gnarly this sport is. Just sit there and think about sitting on the gate. You rode a dry, dirty, dusty ass track all day. you're on the gate, you're revved up, you're ready to go. This thing's about to drop. They pull you off. You got to sit there for 20 minutes, and then it ain't dry no more. You don't get a sight lap, nothing. You're bonsaiing into this track, never touching it, just wet and soupy and muddy, and you're jumping all the jumps.
Them 250 boys sent it. The first lap, I was like, because I was thinking, oh, okay, like they're going out there. It's going to take about 3 laps to get a flow, figure out where the dry spots are at. Fucking Ansty first lap. Just honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I was sitting there, I was going, he's just going to double everything. Like he's even going to check up on the far side triple. Nope. Dry line, sends it. I'm like, holy shit.
I was expecting Daytona.
Yeah, I don't think I think it's pretty overlooked how gnarly that is to just, how those guys were feeling on the gate. Like, oh shit, I got to go send it on something that's 180 degrees different than what they were doing all day.
Yeah.
So yeah, hell of a 250 main. Crazy night. Mudman Ansty, when he was out front, I was like, oh shit. I forgot about him in the mud.
Oh, I'm going to talk about that too, because I'm the same way, bro. I'm like, how the fuck did I like when Max rips the Holy, I was like, how did I forget about my boy being arguably the best mud rider in the world? I was even thinking about him. I was like, Jet and Hunter.
100%.
Jet, Hunter, and maybe Volan. I was
Yep.
thinking those three, and I was like, how the fuck did I forget about Max?
Yep.
And then last thing I'll leave you guys with is Roxon's heat race. That was impressive. He looked really good, and
Look,
he don't know,
whipped
maybe
it out
he's
too and
for
threw it
another
at
week
Webb.
here. What's that?
He whipped it out and threw it at Webb.
Oh, he
also.
regrouped. I honestly thought when Coop drove in the inside of him before the whoops, I was like, all right, Coop, that just fucked Kenny mentally. Coop's just going to ride away. Not to a big lead, but like a Coop lead, like 2-3 seconds.
Nope.
Kenny's
dick
like,
is swinging between
Kenny's
his
like,
legs.
nope, sorry, buddy. Sorry. And I like how Kenny did not look happy on the podium. Like, he's not okay with, like, Kenny looks like he knows where he should be now, and he's not second guessing it. And I like that, especially ending the Supercross, going into outdoors, depending on however many he wants to run. Because we all said at the beginning of the season, like, Kenny's just, he's good. He's happy to be there because he's trying to figure this bike out. Now he knows where he needs to be, and he's not happy with just getting on the box anymore.
Yep.
So I like that. It's good. It's good to see him out of, so.
Yep, I like that. Clutch ride by Eli, and then hell of a night for the next guy on the phone, Mr. Kevin Moranz, top 10. So,
oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Super cool. Starts paid off. I guess I didn't really think he was a mud man, but
I don't think he really is, to be honest with you. That's the thing.
Yeah,
because I think you and me have asked him this before about him in the mud, and he's just like, I guess, because it's more outdoors.
Yeah.
But well, you're about to find out. You guys, I'm sure, will ask him, and then the last thing I'll have you guys ask him is, how's the bike work going?
Yeah. So, all right, man. Well, it was good talking to you. Glad the first week of the job went well.
Yeah, brother, that's awesome.
So,
congrats.
Yeah, we'll.
Thank you.
What's your flight schedule like next week coming back, or are you driving back with the boys?
Yeah, so I don't know where I'll be at Sunday night. I might be able to call in and talk to you guys for a little bit again, but I will be in Nashville. So the Kawasaki folks are nice enough that I get to look like a baller in front of my friends. So instead of flying back here to Detroit, back home, just flying to Nashville from the training and getting picked up down there. So thank you, Kawasaki, for making me look cool in front of my friends.
Nice.
And we're going to be down there. Day race.
Early
in the morning.
You guys doing Sweet Life?
No Sweet Life. No Sweet Life. So sweets are... we were going to try to get one, but they're usually, for the dealers and business oriented. That's why
I was talking the Kawasaki suite.
Correct. Yeah, that's for business.
Got it.
So like Cole's like
a lot
right
of the
here,
local
he needs
dealers,
to be, like,
a
right
lot
there.
of local dealers in the area will be there, and they took up the tickets. So
Got it. Okay, cool, man. Well, it was good talking to you.
Yeah, man.
I guess we'll chat this week, man.
Yeah, we'll talk this week, and then I'm sure we'll be in touch. I'll probably be shooting you guys over some bullshit from the race, and we're gonna see Hunter Lawrence wrap one up.
Yeah, we are.
Hopefully Max Ansty moves into second in the points.
Oh, Mr. Deegan-hater.
Oh boy.
No, we're not going to get into that.
Oh boy.
Not doing that. Not doing that
Deegan-hater.
anymore.
He got a new haircut, and he's still hating on Deegan.
Oh boy.
And he looks like him. All right, cool, man. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
See you,
Hey,
man.
later, boys.
See ya. I resent that.
All right. That was
That was Mr. Kawasaki.
Mr. Kawasaki.
Little
Cole
weird.
there.
Little weird to be honest with you. Little weird.
Super weird. Like you
I know.
like
looking,
just being all suave now.
Being-
I can't understand it.
being like Hayden Deegan apparently.
Yeah, just like Hayden Deegan.
Yeah, just like him. Just
That's
not
wild.
just millions of dollars less.
Yeah, just a lot less money. So much less money. Don't ride a star bike.
No, don't ride a star bike.
No,
Don't have a
hot
sister.
sister.
Don't have a hot mom.
Hello.
Yo, Kevin Moranz, welcome to the Moto Aftermath Show, bud.
No, we're already on. I like it.
We are. Kevin Moranz brought to you by Isaac Nelson Designs.
Top 10 450 finisher.
Absolutely.
Top 10
Yes, sir.
450
We like that.
boy. Okay, first
What do you guys think of that?
dude, I got some hard-hitting questions about this top 10 here.
Okay.
First off, did we figure out the KTM contingency?
I mean, I know what it is, yes.
Because apparently you need
Is
to
it
be on a
that
Kawasaki.
great still? No.
Is it $700?
No. It's $2,000 for 7.
Nice! Way better.
What would it have been on a Kawasaki?
That's a good question. That would probably be $5,000 on a Cowie. I bet.
You should get on a Kawasaki. We know a guy that can get
Yeah,
you a
I know.
deal.
What's the regular payout from Feld for 7th place? Because I don't even know.
I think I don't even know either, honestly, because I've never looked that high up. But now we got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think somebody said $3,000.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, so that's a successful night there of riding in the mud.
Yeah, not too shabby. I mean, I'm just happy. I'm hoping the bike's okay. I mean, we got to wash, but I'm gonna have to tear all the plastics, everything off, and actually do a deep clean when I get to Nashville.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that bitch is going to have to get stripped.
Yeah, that thing is.
Yeah.
No,
I
wow.
just put brand new chains and sprockets on too, right before this round. I'm gonna have to do it again.
Well,
That's unfortunate.
it's a good thing we got a sponsor for that.
Exactly.
So
I think Kev's I'd have to go back and look, but I think Kev's the first privateer to get a top 10 in a 450, like a true privateer. God, dude, I think you'd have to go back like 15 years.
What do you mean?
Like a true privateer to actually
Well,
get a
I
top
mean,
10.
Kate and them were getting them last year.
Was he in, but he wasn't
I was gonna
inside
say
the top
Sterling
10.
got one last year.
Was he inside the top 10 though? I thought he was just 10th.
Wasn't it Detroit that they were like 8, 9, 10? Or
Yeah,
something?
I don't know. I think both of them did get 10th. Like Starlings was a 10th, and I think that Noren's or whoever else or Cades was a 10th as well.
So that's what I mean. So like good, but I mean like inside the top 10. I think you have to go back quite a few years before somebody in. Granted, the 10th for Justin was good, but I mean like inside the top 10. I think you'd have to go back a long ways, man.
I don't know. That or you mean just go back to another mud race kind of deal, and somebody could have squeaked it in.
Maybe.
Deal. I don't know, but yeah, that'd be interesting.
It's a big deal.
All right, so run us through what's going through your mind last night, because, I mean, at least you're not a 250 guy who's sitting on the line, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, go sit in the tunnel for the next 2 fucking hours and just wait it out. So what's going through your mind sitting in the pits kind of waiting this whole thing out?
Oh man, I really didn't know if we were gonna race. So when it was all going down, I got to be kind of quick. I got 10 minutes, by the way.
That's fine.
But anyway, no, dude, when we got done with the heat race, I was stoked with my heat race. I mean, I rode pretty good. I mean, I got a decent jump. My drive was really not that good for me, but I came out of the corner 5th still, so I was pretty happy with that, all things considered. And then got passed for 6th, 7th. I felt like I was getting in a lull, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm just gonna keep going backwards kind of deal. I felt that feeling before, and I just I literally told myself, I was like, Kevin, you're not doing this shit. You are not going to an LCQ. Keep it up. So I kind of turned it back up and then pulled away from Dino and Hill a little bit and got my gap back. And then, finished 7th and looked back. And I figured it was Clayson or somebody behind me. So when I saw Dino and Hill, I'm like, yo, that is sick. Then we're sitting there after the heat race. I knew the LCQs are coming up. Happy I'm not in the LCQ. LCQs finish up. And we're literally our whole entire pit is just getting stripped down because they know it's coming in. So we're trying to get everything put up, all the tents and everything, so they don't get soaked. That being said, as soon as they I didn't know it at the time, but we saw a couple cracks of lightning, and all of a sudden everybody's running out of the stadium, they're emptying the stadium, and I'm like, holy shit, this is real. This has never happened before for as long as I can remember, obviously, and even Ricky said the same thing. I don't think I've ever seen this before. So that was insane. We're just sitting in a trailer,
with our bikes inside the trailer, just like sitting in the trailer for probably like a good 45 minutes, like all just discussing what is the scenario here. Are we going to race? Are we not going to race? How's the forecast look? It's lightning and lightning and lightning. Every time you see a strike of lightning, you got to add 30 minutes. Strike lightning, you got to add 30 minutes because you got to have 30 minutes without lightning, I think, or something like that within X amount radius. So we were kind of going over like the situations. Like, okay, so another situation that we were playing with is the stadium apparently has a cutoff of midnight. If it is not able to be done by midnight, it's a no-go. Okay. So we're sitting there, it's past 10, it's still storming. We're like, dude, like this could potentially get canceled. Like, what do they do in that situation? I was like, they better not make us qualify for a main event again. Like, I just made the main event. You better just run another main somewhere. So they were talking, and we're like, oh, well, they'll just probably do like a Seattle doubleheader kind of thing where everybody who qualify will just do like a main event Friday or some shit like that. We didn't know what was going to go down. So we're all game planning for what's going to happen, this and that. And then out of the blue, they're like 25 minutes, 250 is going to start. And we're like, what? Like, that came out of nowhere really quick. Everybody just ran up there pretty much. And then, yeah, dude, that was kind of like the thought process was, we don't know. We don't know what we're getting into. We know the track is going to be absolutely dog water when we get up there. So, yeah, man, it was just kind of gnarly, that whole situation, talking it out. Got up there, was watching the 250 main, and I'm like, oh, dude, they're still, like, hitting the jumps. Like, this isn't going to be too terrible. And then by the end of their main, they're all rolling the jumps, and I'm like, yep, they just completely destroyed the track for us. Thanks, boys.
Dude, we were just talking about that with Cole of, like, those 250 boys went out, and they fucking sent it. Like, when I started watching that, and I'm watching them go down the start straight, and it's just like water everywhere, I'm like, oh, this is going to be like Daytona 05, like just rolling, barely getting through. And then they come up to like the first triple, and it's just like, yeah, and they just jump it. I'm like, holy shit.
For even like 2 or 3 laps, the rhythm section after the finish, Volan was still going 2-3.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no fucking way. I mean, he was the only one. I think Jet did it a few times, but I was like, no way.
It was pretty hard packed, and you got to think, like, the track was brand new and fresh because they were on the line when they got ripped off the line, right? So, like, the rhythms were rebuilt. Everything was pretty good for them to start, and then downpour came. So it was still hard packed and prep when they started. But the track did not get touched for the old 450 boys.
No, they did not go out there and do track work after that 250.
They were like, nope.
They were just like, good luck, boys.
Good luck. Send it.
Did they? And they didn't give you guys a sight lap or anything either. They were just like, good luck.
Yeah, 100%.
So what is your thought process there? As now you've seen the 250 guys go and you see them kind of jumping everything, but towards the end they're basically rolling. It's obviously just shit. It's still raining. When that gate drops, what is your thought process of like going into that first corner and that first rhythm section? Is it just like, well, we'll just send it off the first one and see what the hell happens? Or are you thinking I should probably tiptoe or what are you thinking?
I was really just focused on getting a good jump. Like, I'm so happy I'm good at starts. Oh my goodness. But I was just really focused on getting a good jump, getting a good start. And I was like, told myself going into it, I was like, just take what comes to you. Don't force it. Just take what feels right. Like, if you got to roll everything, you're rolling everything. Like, don't go out there and weed yourself up, anything like that. I was like, I knew regardless, even if you get a bad start, you do nothing. You just stay on 2 wheels. You're going to beat quite a few dudes probably. Mm-hmm. So to get a good jump, got out to a pretty good little spot to the point where like the dudes in front of me were obviously like ripping. So it's not like I was on somebody's rear wheel trying to get around anybody. So I had pretty clear vision the whole time. So for me, it was just the jumps weren't too terrible, just to double through everything. The finish line and the triple, I didn't hit the finish line for the first couple laps. And then Dino got around me and he hit it in front of me and I just followed him over because he went wide. I went to the inside the first 2 laps. So we'll just say lap 3. I can't remember exactly what lap, but he goes wide and I know he's going wide to hit it. So I said, screw it. Followed his line. He just got into it and I just sat into it too. And I'm like, that thing is the sketchiest jump I've ever hit in Supercross. But I was like, that's 4 seconds a lap, dude. Like, that is such an advantage. So I was I got to keep hitting this as long as I can. to get as much of a up on all these dudes as I possibly can. So I did that for maybe 4 laps or whatever, and then like the 4th lap, I barely made it, cross-threaded on the landing, almost weeded myself off the next little double, and I'm like, okay, I think we're just gonna relax on this one. Go ahead.
Did you ever jump the triple?
Nope, I did not. Dino hit it right in front of me, and I was gonna hit it right behind him, just like I did the finish line. But the line that those guys were hitting was super, super choppy. So unless you got like a clean run and your rear end did not bounce, you weren't getting it. And every time I was committed to going for it, my rear end bounced. And I was like, nope, we're just going to double single.
And you stayed on 2 the whole time? You never tipped over or anything?
Never tipped over. Got real close in the loops several times, but never tipped over.
Sick.
So I only got 2 questions for Kev that before he goes. First one is, at what point was it after Norn went down that you like started like actually realizing like you're going to get 7th? And the other question is, before you answer that, is what was that feeling when you came back across the start straight on the final lap before the checkered flag? What was the emotions going through your mind and I imagine through your stomach?
There was no emotions at all on the last lap because I was stressed about getting past on the last lap. So
he's like
I couldn't take it in. Yeah, I could not take it in because I didn't really know where I was. I knew, like I said, I started 5th, 6th, 7th, somewhere around there. I got passed by like 4 dudes, and I was like, okay, like I'm probably sitting 12th to 16th, 17th, somewhere around in there. I don't know where everybody is. And I'm kind of looking for Chris. Chris doesn't have anything on the pit board. Obviously, it's raining. You're not going to get anything on the pit board. So maybe 6 laps into it, I see him like sticking his hands out, but I'm like, what the hell, dude? He's only got 2 hands up. Like, what is he trying to do? Go around another lap, and he's kind of the same thing. Go around the next lap, and I like make sure to look at it. And I'm like, holy shit, this dude's got a 5 and a 3 up. We're in single digits right now. Yeah, I was like, because if I was outside the top 10, like, there's no way for him to do it. But I'm like, bro, I'm inside the top 10 right now. But I was like, I just had in my mind, I was like, dudes, that means if I'm inside the top 10, I was like, dudes are coming. So I was just like, breathe. Click off your laps. Don't do anything stupid. Just double everything and just make sure you can double everything instead of rolling things. So that's really what I was doing. And then the last, couple laps when I realized I had a little bit of a gap on Benny. But, like, a big thing is Benny always talks crap on us because he's like, you'll never beat me in a Supercross, like, legitimately. If I'll go down, you beat me, that doesn't count kind of deal. So this one I knew was legit, and I was like, just did not want him to pass me. And I saw that Barsha was coming up to lap everybody behind us. And I don't think that he lapped Benny. So I knew on the last lap, the worst I could do was 8th. But the best I could do was 7th and beat Benny. So the whole lap, I'm just like, hit your marks, hit your marks, hit your marks. Don't screw this up. Don't screw this up. And I'm going through the woods on the last lap. And boy, I tell you, I just about threw that away so bad. I like rolled from the left side to the right side, swapping off, feet off the pegs, just pumped up to the moon because I'm like just trying to stay in front of Benny. And I wish I would have just looked back because he pretty much like kind of gave up on the last lap and just like rolled a lot. So I had plenty of a gap, but so yeah, I didn't get to take it in. Even when I went over the finish line, I was just like surreal. I was like, am I going to get penalized for something? Like I don't like getting my hopes up for anything. So I was just waiting a little bit. Came over to the sidelines and they had me up on the board in 7th or whatever. And I was like, that is so sick.
That's awesome, dude.
I gotta say, so I was watching you obviously on the pylon on the side of the screen there, and because like it was hard for me to tell, number one, because of the mud. Number two, you're running this weekend a white bike with like white gear, so like that just doesn't register in my mind at all. And so I'm watching, and like lap 2, you're like 4th or 5th, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here! Like I didn't even see him start up front. And then I'm watching it, like, lap 3 clicks by, and you're still in, like, 5th. And I'm like, the fuck is happening? Like, is there a transponder issue? Like, what the fuck's happening here? And then, like, things must have started happening. That's when a few guys got you, and you drop back to 8th. And I'm like, nope, he's legitimately in the top 10, like, son of a bitch. And then I'm, like, counting guys behind you, and I'm like, okay, so you've got, like, Benny, you've got Hill, you've got this. I'm like, okay, so there's a couple guys that might get him, but outside of that, like, he should still get Anderson, in the top. Yeah.
Well, when Anderson stalled out, it was like, okay, Kev's got 7th.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, but, like, he still should be in the top 10 no matter what. And so then I'm just watching the whole race, like, where you're at. And you were in 8th, and then all of a sudden you were in 7th again, like the last couple laps. I'm like, he's about to get 7th place in this main. Son of a bitch. Like, this is insane. So, like, super pumped for you, man. Like,
Fucking awesome.
literally stoked. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just watching it going, no matter what, unless he wads it completely here, he's getting a career best inside the top 10 in a 450 main, which is just epic. So,
Yeah. Thank you.
that's awesome, man. And nobody can take it away from you, dude. Like, you're going to be in the record books here, just like the whole shot thing and the lead in the lap. You now are in the record books as a top 10 450 main event guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, son.
And in 20 years, no one will even remember it was a mud race.
Nope. Nobody's going to.
Exactly.
You're going to see 7th place, Kevin Moranz.
You could just point to your kids and be like, see that right there? Your
Yep.
dad top 10 in a
Yep,
450
see that?
race.
Yep.
And then they'll look it up and they'll be like, Dad, there was a weather delay for 2 hours. Well, what the hell
They're
happened?
going to be like, yo, don't look at that shit.
Yeah. Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. So, all right, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it. Again, congratulations,
Congrats,
dude.
man.
That
It's
was
awesome.
that was awesome to see. So,
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the continued support, and I'm sure I'll talk to you guys soon.
yeah, man. We'll
Bye,
talk
brother.
to you next
Good luck
week,
in
buddy.
Nashville.
Later.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
All right. Kevin Moranz, everyone.
Top 10 450
Supercross guy.
Seriously, though, I'm going to go look this up, and I'll have this for Nashville. I know that Starling and Cade got, but I think they just got 10th. I was talking
Okay.
about...
You're talking
inside the top 10. I think you have to go back a long
You're going
ways.
like Dino stat. Like, oh, he's been 10th, but he wants to be
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
top 10.
because look, don't get me wrong, 10th is great. That's awesome, privateer anytime.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be inside the top 10, you start putting yourself in a different category.
Yeah.
As a full-on privateer, because that's the thing is like Starling, okay, but Cade still technically is on a team. Was on a team.
Yeah.
Starling different, but even Starling though, you could say has more support. I guess you could say financially probably than Kev.
Yeah, he's got
Nothing away from Kev's sponsors.
He has his setup locked in.
Yeah. So I think it's nothing taking nothing away from those guys, but I think it's just a bigger deal for Kev than all these other guys.
Honest question for you. Right now with the field the way it is, what's Kev's ceiling on a normal race day?
With the guys right now?
Yeah.
Well, if you also got to think about we don't know, but AP,
what's
and
going on
AC,
there?
same thing.
Yeah.
I think if Kev is locked in and Kev is riding to the potential that we know that he can get, I think he could be 10 to 13, 14.
Yeah, I was going to say
10,
like 10 to 12 there.
Yeah, 10th might be pushing it because you're still talking about like Justin Hill, Josh Hill, Dino, but like an 11th or 12th. I mean, dude, he could get a 11th or 12th.
Yeah, and
Two more
that's
times
exactly
by
what
the
I was saying last night. It was like when I'm watching that and I'm seeing him in like 7th, 8th, and it's like, okay, Anderson's behind him, but Anderson's way behind him because Anderson's not riding good. And then you've got like the Hill brothers. It's like, okay, and like Chiz there, okay. And it's like, so these couple guys could get him. Ando's way back here doing whatever. Okay, he's still going to get a top 10 finish, in my opinion, there if he doesn't go down. And then obviously he did, and those guys didn't get him. So
because we've said this about Kev before, even in outdoors. Kev doesn't have that sprint speed. He doesn't have that outright speed that's going to blow your doors off, and it's part of the reasons why sometimes in the heat races he gets a good start and he falls back and has to go to the LCQ.
Yep.
But the one thing you can say about Kevin is through a 20+1 main, he is consistent lap after lap after lap, which has put him in the situations that he has, which is why with the field being depleted, and this is taking nothing away from, even if he does, it's still like you're doing it. I could see Kev getting 11th, Kev getting the 12th. It's because he, even outdoors, I know at the end of a main, he's not going to be falling off 2.5, 3 seconds a lap.
No.
He's just not going to. That's not who Kev is. So.
Nope. So, okay, so we're going to, we're about an hour in here. We're going to take a quick break here, reset stuff. We'll come back with the 450 race recap, 250 race recap. We'll talk some futures. We'll talk to Bobby Piazza. We'll get into all of it here, but we're going to take a quick break, get everything reset, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. Okay, we are going to jump in here. We're going to do our 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Worx. Worx gutters, always well hung, just like Justin Barsha.
Perfect time.
Perfect timing. So thanks to Worx. Make sure to check them out. Link
Thank
in
you,
the
guys.
description down below. Okay, and speaking of Barsha,
Gets it done.
well, he pulls it off.
I was just talking to Wyman about this on Friday night, and obviously I knew weather was coming in, but I didn't know if it was going to be a full mutter.
Yeah.
And I was like, Barsha's going to get a win before the end of this year. Holy shit, I predicted the future. Because, I'm like, dude, he's been so close.
So
Indy, he
close.
was right there. Honestly, I don't think anybody would disagree. If they had another lap, he probably would have won Indy.
Yep.
Not taking anything away from Kenny. He's been close the last couple weekends. It was coming. Obviously, of course, it had to happen. It had to be a mutter. But,
Always.
dude, I think he can get another dub before the end of the year with the way things are shaking out.
Yeah, a few more rounds he could.
Look, Cole said this when we had on the phone. You know, it took 14 years of being a professional, but I think he's finally turned a leaf.
Well, hold on here now. We have to erase the sign. It has now been 0 days since Barsha's last incident because don't get me wrong. I don't really.
No, the Chase thing and the Kenny thing.
That was.
Look, they even said it on the broadcast, and James is right. It only maybe Ricky said it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It only looks worse because it was Chase. If that would have been like Benny or whoever, it would have been like, okay. And look, Justin never even made contact with him. He just fucking threw it in. Chase hesitated, and he just happened to have the misfortune of when he pivoted out of the corner, he clipped Barsha's rear wheel.
Yeah.
It's not like he just sawed off his front end.
No.
Frickin', what was it, San Diego or whatever happened at the beginning of the
and
year.
if anybody's out there saying that, you're a moron.
Yep.
So we'll just put that out
And
there.
Kenny, same thing with Kenny. He just ran Kenny wide, and Kenny just rolled up into the berm and then got into the muck. And look, dude, Barsha won that race fair and square. And hometown boy,
hometown race. Man, that was cool.
I was happy for him, man. You know, I've watched Barsha for a very, very long time. I fed out of this love-hate relationship with him because we've said it that sometimes when he puts his helmet on, I think he forgets he has a brain inside of his skull. Yeah, he's like a moron, and he went through his early days in the 250s. But I've always liked Barsha, partially because I've watched him grow. I was with a lot of dudes. We raced him as amateurs. I've seen Barsha literally through his entire career, and it's cool to see him finally reach a point in his career that I think he's okay with who he is. Like, people say that he's always been that way because of his attitude, but I don't think people realize there was a long time, and he addressed it a little bit on the Gypsy Tales podcast. There was a time where he would just kind of, like, he let the noise get to him for a little bit, and there's like, oh, is Barsha just going to be this one and done? He didn't have a good relationship with Honda when they ended. We know the shit that went on with Yamaha. I think he's finally happy with who he is, and he's okay with it. He's got a wife. He's got a kid. I think he's just good with it, man. He's
loving life.
He's got what? He's on the 2-year deal.
2-year deal.
And then he's probably going to be done.
Yep.
He's got the BAM TV, which I think might have been the greatest thing ever happened to him. He could be himself.
Yep.
And I think he's just kind of becoming who he is. And it's funny, too, that the main ended with him going 1, Eli getting 2nd, and Kenny getting 3rd. Because I'm sitting there watching him going, I feel like I'm watching 2012 250 Supercross all over again, because that's what kind of was for a long time. It was Justin, Eli, and then Kenny. But you know what? Congrats to Barsha, and I think he can get another one before the end of the year. I really do. And a dry race.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously had the speed.
Yeah, the option's there where he could get another one. Now, Willie, that's a whole nother question
Don't
in and
know.
of itself, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. And he's not...
And man,
he's not 5th or worse anymore, Barsha. Like, he's in the box.
And here's the future headline. Outdoor season's going to be good.
That's another thing I was saying is I think we have this idea, if Dylan's healthy, that it's Chase, Eli, Dylan, and Jet. And then there's this next wave of dudes. I think that Barsha's that one guy that if you're going to pick any of the dudes outside of AC's healthy, that can mix it in.
Well, we have a pyramid now, so check this out. So we have Jet.
Oh, okay.
And then
I've been gone for a while. I'm going to let that slide.
Then we have Chase and Eli. And then you get down and we have Dylan and Barsha and Kenny. Boom. Look at that pyramid we got.
So I'm honestly going to put the 4 at the top. It's the same, and then Barsha's right here, because I think those 4 are just kind of like all the same. But with
Jet at the top. The peak block is Jet. And then we have the 2 Eli Chase.
No, Jet. Okay, whatever.
Then we have
whatever.
Then we have Barsha.
Whatever.
And Kenny.
We're going to find out.
And yeah.
Look, that's a great thing. We're going to find out. But yes, Barsha outdoors, it's going to be frisky.
And Dylan.
Well, Dylan's leaps and bounds above Barsha, in my opinion, outdoors, if he's healthy.
Sure. Anyway, all right, so he won by 14 seconds, so that's pretty good. Tomac 2nd, pulled it together here on what was a weird day.
That could have... God, I'm so glad he didn't hurt himself.
Is it kind of weird that you have, like, Eli's in full-blown just conservative mode right now?
Definitely last night was manage mode, which ultimately ended up being 2nd anyway.
Last week, like,
here's the thing, though. We've said this about Eli this year.
He doesn't push it if he doesn't
feel it. So is it manage mode, or that just kind of where he is in his career?
I mean,
you could call it.
I think it's a little bit of both there, but
yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, okay, so manage mode got him 2nd last night, like whatever. Manage mode last week got him like 5th, which wasn't great. But
I mean, it's kind of where he is though. Like,
here's the thing though. Now we've seen this a couple weeks in a row. If I know ifs, what, should haves, buts, nuts, all that crap, but if he has to wick it back up, like let's say Chase wins next week. Let's just play real hypothetical here. Let's say Chase wins. Let's say him and Coop get 4th and 5th again. So now Chase puts another 7 points on him there. So now he's either tied or ahead of Coop. I don't even know how many points. There's not a lot between them now. And now he's within like 10 of Eli with 2 rounds to go. Can he wick it back up?
I mean, he did 2 mains at Glendale. He won 2 out of 3.
I mean, but that's the big question there. And
I think
we'll
if he
get to
feels
Coop
like he
in a
has
second.
to. I think if he feels like he has to, I really do. I think right now, getting 11 on Coop, I think Coop has to more worry about Chase catching him for second in points.
Here's a real question. What the fuck was that in practice yesterday?
With Chase?
No, with Eli.
Oh, I mean, dude,
we all know what happened. Like, he hit that jump, and it was slightly different than he thought, and it blew his hand off the bar. But, like, you don't see that with Eli. So, like, what the fuck happened there?
It might have just been a lapse in concentration, man. He might have just thought it was just a normal, because that was just a little double out of the corner.
Yeah.
And I think that it was just one of those things that, like, I talk about this with Chase. These guys are so good that muscle memory comes into play. And I think it was just one of those things that it loaded up, it bottomed. And I don't think he was thinking about it. He's like, oh, dude, this is a double over. I can fucking hit this shit in 5th gear if I wanted to and just lug it over.
In my sleep.
And, like, he could do it with his eyes closed. And I think it was just one of those things that, like, these guys are just so programmed to do easy shit like that they don't think about it. And when it unloaded on him, I think it happened so quickly. Because when it bottomed, you could see his wrist flex back. And I think what happened is when it did and then it unloaded, I think all of his muscles tightened up. And I don't think he could react as quick. And it just pitched him. I think most people look at shit like that and they're like, how is a guy like that? How does that happen? Like I said, these guys work on so much muscle memory that I don't think that sometimes we realize that stuff like that, they don't think about doing a double like that.
It's kind of like when a normal person walks through their house and they have to walk by something and they do it every single day. No problem.
Exactly.
And then you stub your toe on it.
Exactly. No, like it's a good example though. It really is.
I know.
I really think that that's what it is. He just thought like, hey, this is normal. And then it happens so quick.
Yep.
Your brain can't catch up to what's happening. And I am just glad that was not a blown out knee because I honestly was sitting there. Everybody was like, oh, a shoulder or his hand. Or I'm like, dude, no, he is limping bad. I'm like, did he just blow his knee out? Which part of me was like, oh my God, we just got robbed of outdoors.
Yeah.
Like I'd have been gutted for him for the fact that probably would have been the end of it for him.
I'm just going to say, I'm not sold on the outdoors until we're midway through the outdoors and he's still riding.
What do you mean? I know this is a conversation for outdoors, but what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
He said he was going to do outdoors. He said he's locked in. When he said that, he was in the middle of winning a bunch of races.
Yeah.
Now we're coming off a 2nd place in the mud, had a crash in practice, a 5th place, kind of that wasn't.
But also
a great race.
There's motivation though for outdoors, man. Like he went out to with Chase last year.
Yeah.
You got Jet coming up. If Dylan's going to be healthy, like he has motivation. He doesn't have a reason to.
Yeah.
But he has motivation to.
But here's my concern, and this is the thing. The end of Supercross here, obviously, so far.
Because you're going to get
2
3
rounds.
You're going to get 2 weeks from the last round to Paula.
Isn't going superb, we'll call it.
Yeah.
He's not dominating.
No, he's not.
At this point.
But the question is he trying to?
That's a big question. Well, we will never know the true answer to that question. But if he goes the next 3 weeks here and he doesn't win a race and it comes down and it's close at the end, okay. And then we go into outdoors and let's say the first 2-3 rounds, let's say they don't go well. Okay. Let's say he is working his ass off there to get 3rd or 4th. Does he really keep going all summer, or does he go, fuck this?
He doesn't have a
it.
reason to, but I think the motivation is the fact of he went to war with Chase last year. If Dylan's healthy, and the big thing is, and I've said this multiple times, with Jet coming up and all the hype, you know how much of a notch in his belt it would be to shut down the Jet train for him to go out there and say, look, Jet's going to be great. He could be one of the best of all time. But my old ass shut the kid down. Look, he will never say this. Nobody ever publicly would say this, that he gives a shit, because maybe he doesn't. But we know these guys, even with somebody as accomplished as Eli, which he's probably going to go down as one of the 3 greatest of all time, to shut the Jet hype train down in his hoorah, I don't even know the word, season, that'd be like, check.
Yep.
It's a motivation thing. Does he need to? Hell no. That dude does not need to prove shit to us ever again. But it's a notch. It's a motivation thing. Because, I mean, look when Chase was beating him all year, beating him at the beginning of the season, we sat up here after High Point and we're like, does Eli, can he beat Chase? And then what does he do? He goes and beats Chase.
Yeah.
So I agree, but I think there's a motivation there. I do, but I definitely could see that. Like,
yeah,
he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to.
Well, we'll find out, man. Like I said, that's just my only nerve is like the last few rounds don't go well like these last two have here. Even if he wraps the title, and then you get into the first couple 3 rounds, and he's not,
because they're going to be chasing bike setup for the first couple rounds.
Yeah, and he's not battling up like for
because it's going to be a battle right off the bat.
Yeah,
because you know that no matter, even if Jet Dylan take a little bit, Chase is going to be locked in the first round. It's going to be a battle.
The Jet hype train at the practice track has already started.
Oh yeah, but we hear that with Chase too. So it's like it's one of those things. I don't really care about that. We see it with Chase, and then it's one thing to do at the practice track, whatever. We'll get to it with outdoors. But I'm just saying that even if Jet and Dylan, it takes them a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, Chase at Paul round 1 from fucking get-go is going to be locked in.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to have to be on it early.
Yep. So, all right. Kenny, 3rd.
Just made a small mistake on that. What was it, last lap?
Dude.
2 laps?
Okay, so...
Was it 2 laps ago?
So let's back up here, and we kind of talked about this a little bit. So the Roxon heat race battle with Webb... Damn it,
Jim.
Can't have that on camera.
Yep.
We're off YouTube now. Dude, he flopped the gator out there right on
Coop.
Webb's
right on Coop's
chin.
back.
Right on
back,
his
whatever.
chin, dude. And yeah, that was good because I'm with Cole and you. When Webb got him, I was like, oh shit, he just mentally killed Kenny. And then Kenny was like, nope, I'm gonna go ahead and take this back. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, no, and
we haven't seen that out of Kenny in a while.
No, and it was good too on, like I said, on the podium and stuff. He didn't look happy with it, which I think if you'd have like rewound probably about 6 rounds ago, he would have just been happy to be on the box because they're still figuring the bike out, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But now you can see that he's not happy with just getting on the box anymore. Like, he wants to win.
Post-race interview with him, Mathis's stuff, he said, we have a base setting, so now it's much easier to make a change and go, okay, that didn't work, and we go back to the base type stuff. Which if they have a base setting, which, again, he said, he even made the comment, like, if I had gotten on the bike earlier, we probably would have had this earlier in the season. Now, here's the other thing, and I've heard this talked about on a couple shows this week, too. Kenny is actually not looking like he's fading here.
No.
Late season.
No.
Which is weird. And here's the thing that some guy brought up. It was a caller, actually, on one of the shows. So he's at Honda with all this pressure.
Yeah.
Right? Whether you're Honda's main guy, because that's up for debate between him and Chase last year, or not, there's still all this pressure on you. Now he's on a team where there isn't all that pressure. So it's not causing all that stress. And stress does weird things to people. So, like, these health problems that we haven't really known what it is, and we're kind of saying, oh, it's this, or oh, it's that, or whatever. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm not on that team. That stress isn't happening in my life. I'm not having these health issues. It's just one of those coincidences that you kind of got to go.
It's a mental thing. Mentally, you can.
That could have been it.
Mentally, and we could talk. It'd be a great thing to talk about with Coach. Mentally, if your brain tells you there's a problem with your body, even if there's not, you can force your body into having a problem.
Yep.
You know, it's the same thing with cancer.
Hypochondriac.
Yeah. You know, and a lot of it is like, you know, it's psychosomatic, and it's things you can talk yourself into having an issue, even if there's not. And the thing is, the brain's weird like that. If your brain tells you have a problem, you can be healthy as a whistle. All of a sudden, you start developing, you know, cysts and all this kind of crap. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like I said, the summer is going to be very interesting because we've talked about the off camera. Is he going to split a time between outdoors and World Supercross? Is he going to do one or the other? It's going to be very interesting to see. I guess my biggest question would be is does he get another win before the end of the year?
I don't know about that. I think he's in that same camp with Barsha. He could. He looks good. He could. But because, like, that heat race win where he just battled with Webb, like, that was on a dry track.
Yeah.
And then he came out in the mud, too, and still rode fucking
And, I mean, he
great.
looked good in Atlanta, too.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Barsha had a nice little battle. You know, Chase had his gap, but they had a nice little battle. You know, Glendale, he was kind of,
And up. Kenny, and, you know, going with the same thing with that heat race, he's not just rolling over when these guys get him. He's fighting back.
He is.
Because there's been several years here we've watched him. Somebody passes him. It's just like, oh, well, he just rolls over, shows his belly, and off they go. So, but it's not that way now. Now, here's the thing. If they've started doing outdoor testing and he has a base setting on this bike, we all know what he can do on this bike outdoors.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, is he going to throw his name in there?
This is like the wild card for outdoors.
Because the thing is, obviously he has 2 outdoor 450 championships. To me, Kenny's always been an outdoor guy. He's always been an outdoor guy. He's always had these flashes of brilliance in Supercross, but he's always been an outdoor guy to me.
He's 2-time champ for a reason,
and that's the thing is, man,
won 21 out of 24 motos,
and it should have been 22 because a bike failure caused that one of them to,
Yep.
So,
and then 2 of them he had a bad back. So,
yeah, it's gonna be very, very interesting if he's gonna be. Once again, we just don't know, is he gonna be locked in for all of outdoors or is he gonna split his time? That's to be seen.
There's only like one that it crosses over.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. When Kenny's all good to go, it makes the racing a lot better. Yeah, I'm excited to see. I don't think he gets another win before the end of the year, but I think that he's throwing his name in the mix there. I think him and Barsha make things tough for Coop, Chase, and Eli. And I think it's just kind of those two because I think everybody else is kind of leveling off right now.
Yep.
But it's going to be interesting.
Everybody else is getting ready for outdoors or getting ready for summer vacation. Take your pick.
Yep, or some of them might be getting ready for World Supercross. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. So, all right, so Sexton 4th. I think he would have been on the box. Do you think he wins that race?
No, I don't think.
I don't think he.
I don't think so. I think he probably would have just had one mental lapse at the end of that main.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't see how he would have been comfortable enough, like Barsha was, to just go and pushing it at the end of the main, like Justin was.
Yeah.
And I think he ultimately probably would have gotten second.
I'm not gonna lie. I really thought that whole before Barsha came in, cleaned his front wheel, or before he ended up tangling up with Barsha there, I really did think man, there's no way he makes it through this whole main without issue, with all the issues he's had. But I was thinking too, if he does make it through this whole main without an issue, maybe he's fixed then, because that's an easy spot to have an issue. He's done it at all the places where you shouldn't have issues because obviously it's dry. If he does it in this mud and doesn't have an issue, this bodes well for him going 4 for 4 at the end of the year.
I think the championship, I hate to say this, I know it's only 11 points to Coop and it's 21 to Chase. I think barring anything ridiculous, I think this championship's kind of over with, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it probably is, but
Coop really needs to worry about Chase catching him because I think Chase is going to end up second in the points. I'll just say that right now.
I think so too.
I really do. I think that Chase is going to end up second in the points. I think the championship is over, like I said, barring anything wild from Eli, which is a bummer because we've had this kind of back and forth, what's going to happen or whatever.
Do you think there's going to be a bunch of talk this week about Chase going down in that main event? Because if there is, to me, this isn't really fair because
there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be.
This wasn't really his fault. This was more Barsha induced. And
honestly, here's the thing. Had it not just been the exact perfect moment where his front of his tire lined up, he would have never even gone down.
Yep.
He may have tipped over, fucking drags the clutch, loses a bunch of time, but he wouldn't have gone down. He just happened to hit dead center on Barsha's rear wheel and it went down. Don't
get me wrong, every other crash of his this year when he was leading and stuff, totally his fault. All on his own, no problem. This one,
Atlanta,
I'm totally off.
Atlanta proved a lot to me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It proved a lot to me that I think that he may not be 100% fixed because we still got to make it through a whole outdoor season. But I think that he...
Does he win another one here, do you think, before the year's over? I'll even say, does he, even if he doesn't win either of the next two, Nashville or Denver, does he win Salt Lake?
I think he could win Salt Lake.
Okay.
I think Denver is going to be really interesting dependent on what the points are like for everybody. Nashville, who knows? It's another day race. I checked the weather. There's a chance of rain.
I've heard that too.
And it's open. And, dude, here's the thing, man. It's Nashville.
I'm really not sad I didn't book a trip to go.
I know, exactly. And here's the thing, man. It's Nashville in May. It's going to be humid, so that moisture is going to stick all day. So who knows on that? But Salt Lake, I could definitely see it. Denver, I don't know. It's really up in the air because I think Colorado. I think the last round really all depends on where everybody's at. What's their motivation? Because if Eli's got it wrapped up, Chase would just be like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
I just want to send it and win one.
Yeah.
But then you got Barsha to be like, well, I want to send it too.
I want to win also.
So, I don't know. 70-30, he gets another win.
All right.
70-30.
Moving on, 5th, Cooper Webb.
Eh.
So, yeah.
Eh.
So about Cooper Webb here
Just weird.
is if he gets, say, like 4th, 5th, 6th next week, is this like the first time we've seen a crack in Webb's mental game?
Yes, and to reiterate a lot of the stuff that Ricky and James have been saying on the last couple broadcasts, it is very evident that Cooper Webb, speed-wise, is like at best 5th. Speed-wise. Which doesn't really matter because the dude is still a 2-time 450 Supercross champion. But I think I have to stand by my comment that I said at the beginning of the season. I think 2021 Webb beats this Cooper Webb, speed-wise.
100%.
Because, I mean, dude, Eli, Chase, Barsha, Kenny, at times AC.
I mean, it's
Coop's probably not. Coop might. You know what? You could probably even say Coop might not even be the 5th fastest dude outright.
It's crazy to think the position he's in points with 2 wins.
And outside of those 2 wins, just kind of being there.
Oh, I'd just like to point out also, JT, shout out Jason Thomas, had a stat last week.
Mm-hmm.
The races that Sexton's gone down in, okay? If he doesn't go down,
He beats Coop every time.
35 points more he has.
Yeah, man.
He's winning this title by over 10 points if he doesn't go down. And I know it's if, ands, what's, or buts.
But you can kind of say the same thing about outdoors last year, though, too.
Yeah.
Right?
But
right?
But I'm just saying, it's wild to think 35 points. Well, I mean, you even go back to what was that one he won there? Not Atlanta. What was the one he won before that? Where he got penalized there.
Oh, Detroit?
Was that what it was?
Detroit was his last win before Atlanta.
Yeah.
When AP was out front and then went down.
Yeah, and he jumped the lights. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you give him that 7 points back here, and they've been talking about that last week, too, on a bunch of different shows. You give him that 7 points back, and all of a sudden it's like, ooh, he's
Eli Tomac,
right there.
Eli Tomac, Ricky Carmichael, Chase Sexton, James Stewart, Cooper Webb, Chad Reed.
Yeah.
It's factual as shit.
I have been saying this
it is
since the beginning, and y'all called me crazy.
It is 100% factual.
And now
because
here we are.
Because look at how many times you could have said with Stu, had he not gone down here, had he not gone down there, he would be fucking 17-time champion.
I am glad that I was the first one to point this out.
No, I totally agree with you, man. It is so factual.
Everybody called me crazy when I started the comparison, but here we fucking are.
Super fast, most accomplished out of them, cardio for days, trusts his bike setup when it's there, but sometimes isn't the outright best guy, but wins because he's a badass dude. Chase Sexton, arguably fastest dude on the planet, makes bonehead mistakes. Cooper Webb wins when he can, fast, will dog you all day long, but a couple clicks slower than Chase and Eli.
100%.
Super factual. And it's crazy to think that those 3 are going to go down. I mean, we don't really know what's going to happen with Chase. It's crazy to think, though, at the end of those dudes' career, they could literally end up with the same amount of titles. Because Chase only has 2 250 titles, so probably not, but Coop's going to end with 2 450 Supercross championships. Chad had 2 450 Supercross championships. Now he doesn't have an outdoor 450 championship, but
the real question is Chase going to win a Supercross title ever or an outdoor title? To be honest,
I mean, I think he could. I mean, we talk about with Jet and Hunter and all these guys, but I mean,
he's got issues coming though that Stu didn't have there after Ricky retired.
The one thing I'll say is that now that we know that KTM is dialed in and he's going to go to KTM and be the number 1 guy and there's going to be no question about it, Chase could just get on that bike and just be like...
But let me ask you this. Is he, though? Because like me and Coach talked about last week, what's going to happen with Webb if Eli doesn't leave? Is Webb still going there? If Chase
catches Webb and beats him in points this year in Supercross, and just say for the sake of this argument, Chase wins an outdoor title next year. Just the sake of this argument, or this year. Just the sake of this argument, say he wins 450 outdoor title, which obviously is not far-fetched. He could.
Yeah.
He probably could have. It's arguable, debatable that he should have won last year. Should have beat Eli.
He might be
Say,
good
just
in a couple motos. It's fine.
Oh my God, we're not going to get into this. We got all summer to debate this. He could. He's number one at KTM. I don't care what Cooper Webb has accomplished. He's number one because it will be 2 years removed since Cooper Webb has even won a title.
Mm-hmm.
And Chase just beat him outright in a Supercross championship, and then we know that Coop's not on his level outdoors. So no, I don't. In my opinion, I don't really give a shit what Coop does if he moves to Star or not. Chase is number one at KTM next year.
Okay. All right, so moving on. Shane McElrath, season best 6th. That was solid.
That kind of came out of nowhere.
Because
Shane, to me, has never really been known as a mud rider. I mean, he's from North Carolina. He knows how to ride in the mud, but it's not like I've ever been like, oh, yeah, Shane's like super good in the mud.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. That's a weird finish there.
While and Norin went down too. So.
Yeah. Friend of the show there, Kevin Moranz, we already talked to, 7th place, career best for him. So that's awesome. Right behind him, as he was talking about, the giraffe, Benny.
I think he crashed like 5 times.
Probably.
And he didn't give up.
Didn't give up.
Kudos to Benny for not giving up.
On my fantasy team here in 9th place, Justin Hill. So that was solid.
Justin Hill has been, I know you're not on the bandwagon, and neither am I, not like Cole is. I respect both the Hill brothers.
Qualifying was insane.
Dude, he's just been, you know what? He's been good this Supercross season. He has been, him and Josh have been good.
Are like, for a privateer effort team there.
He's been good, man. And you know what it shows? You really can do well with just talent.
Yep.
Because I don't care what anybody says. That boy is not working out in the gym. He doesn't give a shit.
No. Dean Wilson, 10th. Poor Dino. He ends up 10th place still. Freddie Norin, 11th.
Hold on. Let's go back to Dean for a second, though.
Okay.
Is this an accomplishment for him if he can get a couple more top 10s before the end of the year?
I don't think he feels that way.
No, but I don't really think that he should feel like he's going to. I understand it's Dino, and he's accomplished a lot and also had a lot of issues, but, dude, I think he should be happy with getting top 10s.
If he goes and does all the races here, doesn't end up with a 3rd butthole. I mean,
another blown out knee.
I think this is just a win.
Yeah. I mean, because if Kenny and Coop don't ride World Supercross, he's definitely got to be the favorite next to Savachi.
Yeah.
So
Freddie Norin, 11th. Jason Anderson, 12th.
Remember how we said that Jason Anderson's probably not going to ride outdoors?
Yep.
Jason Anderson's not going to ride outdoors.
No way.
And you know what? When we get to Paula Preste and Jason Anderson is not there, I want everybody to know that it was first said on this show, Travis and me, Jason Anderson not riding outdoors.
So, did you see the awkward... Was that on Race Day Live? When he was talking about, like... Because they were asking about last week with everything going on or whatever. He's like, oh, yeah, team was great. And, like, there was this, like, awkward, like, kind of pause in the way he said it. And I went... Team's not happy with him. He doesn't want to be around that fucking team anymore.
Doesn't give
awkward.
2 shits. Doesn't care.
Yeah, this is like when you wake up and you realize what happened last night and you go, uh-oh.
I don't have beer goggles on anymore.
I should not have drank that much. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
So I'll ask you, because I've been asking Cole this for weeks. Does he take next year off and then come back in 25 with Triumph on the 450 group there?
Is his contract up after this year?
I believe so.
Because if it's not, I don't know how that would work out in the court. I don't know how litigation would be, but if it is up, yeah, I think so. I think what happens is that he takes 2024 off and he just tests that bike all year. Even though they have, Clement, DeSalle, and Ivan Tedesco testing, which is the oddest group of dudes to have testing your new machine, but whatever.
What are your thoughts on that 1999 Nokia cell phone video that they took of Clement DeSalle riding that fucking bike?
I saw that and I'm like, is this MSN.com? What am I looking at right now?
Did somebody hand draw this video? Like, is this an animation?
I'm like, did somebody find a 2006 Nextel flip phone and just...
Here's the thing. They're riding, like, they bought Matt Walker's old place.
Yeah, that was...
down in Georgia there.
Well, that Trace place is going to be up for sale.
How has no one gone down there with a drone and caught a video of this yet?
I don't know, man. That whole thing
All we have is a 1999 Nokia cell phone.
That thing has been uber weird, but
it's shaky because they were also playing Snake while they were taking the video.
Yeah, I know. Dude, that video was wild. I don't know how that video, is
this a new Triumph bike? Well, look.
I don't know.
I'm going to take a grainy picture of this street bike back here.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on MySpace before MySpace was a thing. Like, is this video? I don't know when this video's from.
It's wild.
But I think he does. I think he takes next year off and just tests that bike all year and then comes out swinging in 2025.
Probably. All right, Chiz 13th, Starling 14th, Harlan 15th. Colt Nichols was down at one point, 16th. Chase Marquier 17th, Josh Hill 18th, Cade Clayson 19th, Tristan Lane made his first
Good
main.
for
Good
him,
for
man.
him, yeah.
He likes the show. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if he likes the show, but he like reposts a lot of the shit that you put on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. So 20th, Jeremy Hand 21st, and Devin Simonson makes his first 450 main.
Good for her. Can we go back
Did
to
you just say good for her?
I mean, he's got really long hair, so
Oh, man,
good
20
for him.
seconds,
Can we go back to Nichols for a second?
Yeah, sure. What do you want to talk about with him?
It's not really much to talk about. We know that he's been plagued with injuries this entire year. We know he's probably never going to be the same ever again because of his wrist.
Yeah.
And we know he's not riding outdoors. What is your take on, though? Because there's been a lot of talk of what they're going to do with him come summertime, because we know that he knows how to test, sets Chase's bike up.
He was on Pulp last week. He doesn't know what he's doing. And
What do
it
you
sounded
think he's going to do?
I don't know.
If you were Lars, what would you do with him?
I would pay him to test rides, to test stuff for Chase outdoors. To be honest with you, I would just pay him to be a test rider anyway, and just be ready if anybody got hurt, and then he's riding.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd
Which
have
is
to
what I
agree
think
with
all these teams should do, but that's a whole different story for a
that.
whole other show.
I think I tend to agree with that. I think that they need to do something with him. They need to do something with him. It's just crazy to me to think that. And also, another question you have to ask yourself is what the hell are they going to do with him come 2024? He's not getting re-signed.
Okay, so here's what I originally thought. I originally thought that they would just keep him on testing Supercross stuff for during outdoors here or whatever, and then they would sign him for another 1-year deal next year, because I originally thought the plan was Hunter to ride 250 Supercross again and then go 450 outdoors. Now, from what I understand, Hunter's going to go 450 Supercross next year.
Which I think is a huge mistake.
Huge mistake.
Huge
Let me ask
mistake.
you this, though. Let me ask you this question. And I thought about this last night. So he's going to wrap the title next week.
Yeah,
Like,
barring anything fucking super crazy.
Barring him
melting down.
literally just torpedoing himself in practice
Or
and not
somebody
being
just
able to race the
popping his
last 2
tires
rounds.
before the-
What's the chances we see him on a 450 for the last 2 rounds? Because from what I've
they're going to need a
heard,
third bike, though.
from what I've heard, there is a lot of 450s at the dog pound right now.
Oh, like Honda 450s?
Oh, yeah. A lot. So many so that one just happened to end up in AJ Catanzaro's van for him to ride all summer.
The Hunter Lawrence thing. Which
I'm not sure it's full-blown a Honda thing or if it's a Dazzy thing. But
It's probably a Dazzy Myrtle thing, to be honest with
well,
you.
from what I understand, Dazzy's like, I don't know, these bikes just keep showing up. So
I mean, he's robbing fucking parts off a Jet's bike, so why not?
I mean, I would be doing that.
It's probably a Myrtle Dazzy thing, but the Hunter thing is really interesting to me because I think it's a huge mistake for him to do. I think he should have gone the Jet route of what Jet's doing this year.
I honestly think it's really dumb if they don't put him on a 450 for the last 2 rounds. I think they should. There's no. Why
Okay, here's my question.
Why would you not?
Here's my question, though, and it's unlikely, but obviously this is dirt bike racing. Anything can happen. What happens though if they put him on a 450 for the last 2 rounds? And we always know how crazy that last round in that last round in Salt Lake is, because the track is usually literally fucking concrete blue groove.
And what if he fucking
What happens
wins?
what happens if he gets hurt?
Well, that's.
And I don't think that he's going to win this outdoor title. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
He's going to race the last round anyway.
But what happens
on
if he gets hurt?
250?
What happens if he gets hurt though on the 450? Getting hurt on the 250 is one thing, but what if he goes out there and they're like, "Yep, just put him on the 450, see what happens," and he just gets hurt? I don't think it's going to happen.
He runs the same risk of getting hurt on the 250 as
He
the 450.
does.
The only thing we're changing is now he's going to go ride Denver also. But otherwise, okay, what are you doing?
No,
you're
I don't-
throwing him in the 450s next year with
I don't think
no
so.
450 experience.
You know why I don't think so? Because I think that unless it just happens to be a mutter there, I think that they're hyping up this whole him versus Jet thing a lot, and I don't think that they want to take that away. I think that they really want him and Jet, because that's all got shoved down our throat last night was him and Jet, him and Jet,
Yeah.
him and Jet. I could see them doing it in Salt Lake, but I think Denver, I think that they really want mono Ibano, Jet versus Hunter. Everything's equal, no mutter, everything's good. Hunter's going to have more time on the bike because we know he didn't ride a lot this week. F it all.
Wait, I'm confused by what you just said because the showdown's at Salt Lake.
No, yeah, I didn't. I mean, put him on at 450 at Denver, Salt Lake 250. I could see them going at Denver on the 450, Salt Lake though back on the 250 because I think that they really want this whole him versus Jet East-West because that's like their selling thing for the East-West shootout.
Yeah, I guess.
Which is absolutely ridiculous. But no, I think it's a huge mistake to put him on a 450 next year.
I will say I have to give it up. I don't remember what show I heard it on or whatever. So I've been preaching this for the last several weeks too of them comparing Jet and Hunter's 250 Supercross career, and you can't fucking do that. In fact, I think JT was the one to say this too. You can't fucking do that because fucking Hunter was hurt for so long there. Like, bro, we cannot compare the two. And finally, it's come out like, yeah, this is a stupid comparison.
Yeah, dude, he didn't even ride a Supercross race until the COVID rounds in 2020.
Exactly. And somebody finally pointed that out. And then I did notice yesterday when they put it on the screen, they were very clear to point out 2023 comparison here. So like this year, their comparison in their stats or whatever. But yeah, but anyway, I don't know, man. I think, honestly, like I said, if I'm him, I'm like, look, so I'm going to wrap the title this week. After I do that, like, let me just do a couple 450 rounds here, the last two, where it doesn't matter. I don't have to do anything. I just got to go ride. Here's
my other question to you, because I think that with this hype train, and then we can go to the 250s, because I think this is an interesting topic, and we haven't gotten a chance to talk about this. Hunter Outdoors. I'm sorry. I do like Hunter. I think he does have a shot, but I don't think he's winning Outdoors. I think that, honestly, he's going to be like the third guy. If he doesn't win Outdoors, because I think a lot of people are going to think he's going to be the favorite, if he doesn't win Outdoors and say he just gets smashed, do you think they rethink going to 450 and they wait till Outdoors and they're like, we just want Hunter to get one more championship?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know. So
I know none of us really know, but
I honestly think that Hunter, after seeing the way he's performed the Supercross season, I think he's taken that kind of next step, because with these races, even when it's not going his way, and it's gone his way a lot, like, don't get me wrong, but
pretty much outside of last night and when Nate beat him at the Triple Crown.
But there hasn't been panic in him. And I think Jet's the same way, because Jet's been good, but in years past, we have seen Jet when things start to fall apart.
He has cracks.
Yeah, like, it's like, oh crap. We're like this year.
Outdoors last year.
Yeah, we're like this year. We have not seen that with Jet, and we definitely haven't seen it with Hunter.
Yeah.
So I'm not fully on the same train with you that Hunter's not the favorite going Outdoors. And I know we have other heavy hitters, okay? Obviously, you have Shimoda, who's looking good.
Which, let's be real, Joe was faster than him Outdoors.
For 2 races coming back here. But then again, too, I don't know if you listened to the show last week, Joe is terrified of that bike.
Yeah.
Because it's locked up on him I don't know how many times. Because they're using titanium rods.
I think if he can get through Supercross, I think he'll.
So I don't know, but I heard it got to the point that, like, Joe wasn't going to ride the bike anymore. He was like, "Fuck this, I'm done." So we'll see. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but it'll be interesting to see. Now, obviously, he's looked pretty good these last couple of rounds. He's come back here for Supercross, but that's a whole nother story. You have J-Mart, and as much as I love J-Mart and as much of a badass as he is outdoors, I think the compounding of injuries and missed time and all of this, I just don't think we see the J-Mart that won 2 outdoor
Well, that
titles.
bike's also going to be underpowered.
I don't know that that's necessarily a thing with that Yamaha. I mean, it's underpowered compared to the other Yamaha, like the Star bikes.
Yeah.
But compared to the guys he's racing, that Honda bike, that Pro Circuit stuff, I think in the KTM for Vial, I think it's pretty level. Then you go to J Coupe, which the downside to J Coupe, he hasn't been racing.
No,
he's going to be prepared,
but he
hasn't been racing, and he's good.
I think this J Coupe is. I think you're going to see a different J Coupe. He's not my favorite, but I think he's going to be different outdoors.
Yeah.
And then you got Vial.
And then you have Vial. But again, Vial is on all new stuff. He's been racing Supercross and getting beat up with that. Obviously, we've seen some of the crashes. So I'm not sure we see peak Vial outdoors this year. I think that takes till next year. I think he does really well.
Yeah.
So in all reality, all of these dudes are very, very close in my opinion.
It's those 5.
But when you look at the veteran savvy and the, as Coach calls it, athletic maturity,
Yeah.
I give the nod to Hunter.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm not flying that same flag that I don't think he's the favorite or whatever. He, in my opinion, is my favorite going outdoors at this current moment right now. Could change, but for right now. So, like, I think there's a pretty good chance of winning that outdoor title. Now, if he doesn't, that changes a whole bunch of
And
different
that
stuff,
was my
in
ultimate
opinion.
question, because we obviously have our previous show to debate this. And
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
But that was my ultimate question: is just say he doesn't win outdoors.
Yeah.
Do you think that changes their opinion to we just want him to get another title and then we'll go 450 outdoors?
Yeah.
Or do you think it doesn't matter what he does outdoors and they're just like, nope, 450 Supercross right away?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Because I really do, even though one doesn't have to do with the other. I really think Honda wants him to bag 2 titles before he goes to the 450.
Well, here's the other thing too. We have super motocross. That's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah,
here
we
at
don't
the
know
end
what
of
the hell's
year.
going to happen with that either.
No one knows.
We have no idea.
No one
So
knows.
I don't like the move, but I think that Honda just wants him to have 2 titles.
Yeah.
And I think that if he doesn't nab an outdoor title, I think that you could see, no, we decided we're just going to wait. We're going to go the jet route. Because I really think Honda wants him to have 2 titles before.
Now, if they do
moves
go
up.
the jet route there and he doesn't go until outdoors, then I think you see.
Oh, and he's
Colt.
on West Coast next year.
Yeah, then I think you see Colt back there.
Yeah.
Riding.
Yep.
Another 1-year deal, Supercross only type.
But I
deal,
hate the idea of just going straight 450 Supercross. I hate it.
I do too.
Not to say that he's not ready, but I don't like it.
I don't think so either. So, all right. So that's been your 450 race recap, brought to you by our friends at Gutterworks. Always well hung, like Justin Barsha. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's get into our Complete Racing Solutions comment of the week here, / our TLR tinfoil hat segment here. So this comment of the week comes courtesy of our friend Mr. Issac Gonzales, aka Bones, aka
Bones.
Heart Kid. I can't remember the numbers after everything, but whatever. Our West Coast contributor there. So he sends me this screenshot of this conspiracy theory. So here we go. Can it be any more clear that Supercross is scripted so that Eli wins the series?
Oh, my God.
Connect the dots. And here we go. Step 1. Predict a thunder and lightning storm because Eli is off his game and needs time to rest up. Step 2. Delay races until it rains and the track is muddy and Eli is rested up. Step 3. Usher people out of the stadium so they don't see Step 4. Step 4. Adjust gate drop time so Eli gets a good start after bad starts all day. Open your eyes.
Who made this comment?
It was something he found on Facebook.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You can't script. You can't.
I don't know, man.
You can't.
I don't know.
Look, we've if we're gonna,
It's
we can't go down
ridiculous,
this
but
rabbit.
is it?
We can't go down this rabbit hole because we don't have enough
Look
time.
At me. Look at me. Is it?
It's ridiculous.
Just turn your. I know that your hair is like up here.
I know exactly. It's here. It
Just
makes,
turn your
well,
head.
no, there's more weight going this way.
Just turn your head 90 degrees and look at it and go.
Now, see, here's why. We can talk about scripted, and this has been said for. We don't have the time to do this, and I'll say my piece on this, and then I don't even want to talk about this.
Yeah.
You can script stick and ball sports because
Yeah.
you can refs can control games.
Sure.
There's a lot more people out there. You can say, hey, you know what? Just kind of move to the side. Quarterback gets, sacked. Baseball, like throw right down the middle. Basketball, like, hey, follow this guy. Motorsports racing, it's very hard to tell a guy that, hey, you got to huck a 75-foot triple in the mud. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
you just can't.
no,
You can't do it.
it's-
Even fighting, you can script it. Hey, man, just lean right here when I'm going with a right hook or with a body shot. There's too many.
Pro wrestling.
And the other thing too is with mud racing, you can't really script when you can't really tell a motor to stay together for a whole entire main.
Yeah, I mean it's a little
Stick and ball
ridiculous.
shit, yes, but motorsports, I'm sorry, motorsports is probably the one sport like genre in the world. Can't script it because you can't control every variable that happens because the bike doesn't do the same thing every lap.
Yeah.
So you can't do it. I love people that likes to go down these rabbit holes, and I'm like, look, dude, you can do it with stick and ball sports because there's the human aspect of it. But when you're talking about human and then machine, and energy going through metal in different ways. You can't script what a bike's going to do every lap. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
You can tell a guy not to jump this or jump that or, hey, check up here. Dude's still got to get his own bike to the finish.
Yeah. So, all right. So that was your complete
Vince
racing.
McMahon, WWE.
Yeah. Complete Racing Solutions comment of the week / your TLR tinfoil hat.
That was a 12-year-old right there that probably put that comment
Who knows?
out.
Who knows? Okay. So let's, you said you had a rant.
So this is about the race, and I'm surprised.
Holster Co. Reload rant.
So I don't know if you really want to call it a rant, but I told you in between the hour delay or what ended up being 45-minute delay, I was bouncing back and forth. All the conflicting reports from the stadium, from Mathis, from Lewis Phillips, from JT, from Weege, all these different people. There was all this different thing. And somebody made the comment, they're like, well, we're not on NBC. We're streaming. We're not on an allotted time. Why in the hell did we take the 20 minutes to go prep the track when they knew these storms were coming in all week? Mm-hmm. This was back to Monday. Why the hell did they take the 20-minute time to go backblade all the corners and doze everything up and whatever, and then we went through all these different fillers, and why didn't we even move up an hour beforehand? Because then the 450 main would have ended right as the time the rain coming in. My rant to that is, I fucking agree. We're not on NBC Live. We're not on an allotted time. We're on a streaming platform where we can fucking be on there however long we want, when we want, whatever we want. We could have been on there for 5.5 hours, and it doesn't matter. Why in the hell did we not start the night show at 6 when y'all motherfuckers knew back on Monday if there was going to be storms? I know this is not really a rant because I think it's kind of obvious, but I fucking agree. If some dude that has never been to a Supercross makes this comment in a forum, y'all dude, there's no way the boys at Dirtworks were not going to Feld and going, yo guys, we got a pretty massive thunderstorm coming across. Like, why the fuck are we not, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the 450 LCQ ends.
Yeah.
We should have started 250 mains right then and there. It makes no fucking sense. This is just another what the hell moment by the promoters and Feld. What are you guys doing? Start at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
We're not on NBC. We don't have to pander to other shit going on.
We should have probably started early. The only comeback I have for that would be, I believe the camera crews are union. So who knows if that throws a monkey wrench in it? That's the only rebuttal I have to this.
And I can understand that very well, but I'm pretty sure we can find a way around that.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure. It's just somebody made that point, and I'm like, you guys are right. This isn't the days of where we have to pander to NBC Times or NBC Sports. We're on a fucking streaming platform. We can be on for 12 hours if we wanted to.
Yeah.
This isn't like Formula One on ESPN where they have so much time, and then eventually they just got to call it. And I wanted to ask Kev this, but he only had so much time. There was a lot of talk going on, when it got 30 minutes in, of canceling and just running the mains on today.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk about that.
I'd heard that too.
So it's dude, they're right. Why the hell did we not start this at 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
We could have been done by 9, right around the time the storm came in. Literally, they could have been finishing the 450 main right as shit went through. I do not understand it, and this proves once again how nobody in our sport knows what the fuck's going on.
Yep.
Bro, you knew storms were coming in on Monday. What are you guys doing?
Everybody was talking about it all week.
It's dumb as shit.
And I know we get lucky a lot, but we clearly saw we weren't getting lucky.
See, and Ricky,
night.
and it's actually true. I started thinking about this last night when we had the hour long to think about it. And when Ricky said, and Stu, I've never experienced this. Lars said he's never experienced it. And I started thinking about all the racing that I've been around my entire life. And I go, especially Loretta's, I've been in a lot of races, especially regionals in Ohio in the middle of summer, before practice, where they've had to bump practice back or right as the last moto was going off. But I really try to sit there and think when they've had to call a race right before a moto. And I can't remember a time, motocross-wise. I've been at GNCCs where there's lightning strikes and they've had to call it. But as far as, motocross and supercross,
yeah,
obviously supercross. But, I've never been in a race where they've actually, yo, we're on the line. Nope, sorry, pull it back, boys. That's got to be a first.
Yeah.
Obviously in supercross because we don't go outdoors outside of West Coast that often. But that last night, I think, is going to go down in the history books as a very odd night.
Yep, it will. It will for sure. So, okay, a couple more things before we get into this 250 race recap. Futures last night.
Julian Bomer and Daxton Bennick are going to have a good little battle in Salt Lake.
Sick 250 career.
Who? Both of them?
Yeah.
You think so?
Juju's real good.
Juju is real, and I love the fact that
Bennett's
David.
real fucking good, too.
You know who's not real right now? Ryder DiFrancesco.
Nope. You know he's going to Gas next year, right?
I have heard that. I didn't know that was confirmed.
It's
though.
confirmed.
I thought Cowie had first right of refusal.
He's going to Gas.
So they fought. So Cowie just because I thought I had
He's
heard.
replacing Mosman.
Well, that doesn't shock me. They're not happy with Mosman right now, which that's another story. So that's interesting because I had heard the first right of refusal that Cowie must have just been like, nope, you can have him.
Probably, yes. Which also, too, I don't know if you listen to this on the show, Jet Reynolds is out at Kawasaki also.
Oh, my God, shocking. Nobody knew that.
The first pro rider that never ran a pro race.
I'm sorry. When he fucking showed up at Freestone and was getting 7th in an amateur race, that should have been a...
There was an epiphany there going, probably should just
let him go. Yeah, let him go. Yeah, I don't know if Ryder D is still dealing with that injury that he had, but I thought it was just a broken thumb.
Yeah, it wasn't a good race for him last night.
No, dude, it wasn't a good race at Glendale. He got dropped.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if I think it was a thumb. If whatever he injured at the beginning of the season, like, if that's lingering going on. But he's got something going on because Juju and Dax dropped his ass.
Can I ask you this, though? So, last year we watched Hymus and Ryder D battle this out, right?
And now we see Hymus is over here and Ryder D's over here.
And Ryder D went to, like, all these things, right, and just was dominating. And I had made the comment last year, and then we figured out that, it's because they don't have B-class riders. What about if Deegan was there? And after watching Bennett ride this year, do you think we see something that looks real similar if Deegan's riding that last year?
Yeah.
Was Ryder D literally just...
Well, no, because he beat Hymus heads up at the final round.
He did, but I'm saying at the other rounds here...
Yeah. For sure.
And the finals
I mean, you could have said the same
probably
thing.
Looked different too. But
you could have said the same thing had Romano been doing them last year.
Yeah, I guess.
So. Yeah. It's just very interesting to see the fact that we now know what Hymus can do, and when he's not even fully like focusing on Supercross, and Ryder D can't even win. My biggest question to you is that, and we're not going to know until next year. Where do you think Juju and Dax fit into this 250 class if they were to race right now?
Well, it really
fully healthy, doesn't matter east-west.
It really depends on the coast. I think they're both in the top 10. Honestly, I think Dax is a little more like Julian's beating him, and looks really good.
Dax is more polished in Supercross. Yeah. Juju's going to be better outdoors.
Yeah,
and Juju I think is just going to ride another rear. I think Dax is going to be on the line at Paula.
I think so too.
But Juju's going to, because they want an Orange Brigade title.
And I hope he performs, because otherwise he's going to have a rough pro career.
I think he's going to be fine. I don't think this is a Matt LeBlanc thing. Dax has been fairly healthy his entire career.
But here's the thing. From what I understand, that is a single-year deal where he's at, and it's performance-based.
Here's the thing is that Star's going outdoors with Jay Coop. They're going out with Hayden Deegan, Levi Kitchen. We don't know about Styles yet. We don't know what's going to happen with him. Guillaume Ferez, he's going to have some leeway.
Styles is fucked.
Oh, I haven't seen his injury report. What did he end up is it come out what he's?
It's some sort of broken leg, but I don't. I don't know what exactly.
So him and Thrasher and Romano are out for outdoors.
Yeah.
You still have Jay Coop, Smitty. I forgot about Smitty's riding outdoors. So I think Dax is going to have some leeway. I think as long as he's not getting worse than 15th, I think he'll be fine, because I don't think they're going to expect him to be top 10, because let's be real, top 10 outdoors on a 250 is going to be real tough. Mm-hmm. If he's beating Ryder D, I think they'll be happy. No, I'm serious. I think if he beats Ryder D, I think they'll be like, well, okay.
Yeah. So, and there's a huge thread we could get into with futures, because they got into it on the shit show with Johnny and Coach and everybody last weekend or on Friday. But we don't have time to do that.
The only thing I'll say about futures, and I think you won't see it until next year futures, wait till Christian Janik and Drew Adams are riding Supercross. Future Supercross.
Yeah.
Those boys are going to fucking dominate. Mm-hmm. Those boys are good on a Supercross track.
Yep.
Especially Drew Adams.
Yep. Okay, so next thing, the Bobby Piazza drama here. Okay. Let me get started with this. So I have talked to Bobby.
So fucking dumb.
He has had issues with the security guard. That part of the story.
You mean small man steroid boy? Jesus.
Let's put it this way. it's probably a good thing I'm not going to any more Supercrosses this year, because if I saw this dude, me and him would probably have words about how he's acting. And there would probably be threats thrown out about, like, if I see you or hear of you following, because we know Bobby, we're friends with him.
We know Bobby's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. She's a sweetheart.
Exactly.
And there would probably be threats thrown around of, like, look, bro, I've dealt with guys like you before. I love Bobby, and he might be able to scrap because he's, Northeast.
I was about to say, I'm sure if people didn't know who Bobby was, Bobby would probably take a swing at himself.
He's also a he's a rider. He's scrawny. I'm not.
Yeah. Yep. No, I get what you're saying. I totally
and there
agree.
might be some words thrown around to this security guard about, like, if I find out that you're following her around or something or harassing her again, I'm going to come harass you, and you're not going to like the way I do it.
Yeah. No,
Because I'm not sure if you've ever been fingered in the ass by the devil, but it's coming for you, bud. So anyway, so this John guy, who is a security guy there for Feld, sounds like a fucking asshole. I'll just put
Takes
that
his
out
job
there.
way too seriously.
So there goes my media credential for next year.
I didn't think we had one.
We didn't, but just in case that was even in the cards, whatever. So I reached out to Bobby. I talked to him. I listened to, like I said, the shit show on Friday. They dove into great detail here, and from what I understand, they had moved away from the garages to do this. And here's the thing that drives me crazy, and this will cancel my media credential for the next 2 years here. They are telling privateers, you can't take a donation. I'm going to walk around the pits with a sign around my neck and money in my hand that says free donations for privateer riders, just ask me. And I dare them to come up and say something to me that I cannot hand them money. Because the amount of going off that will fucking happen there it'll be on World Star.
I don't even think that's a thing anymore, bud.
I don't give a shit.
But I know where you were going
It'll
with that.
come back because of the amount. Because I'm gonna not only have Mewey and Prater and Sean Brennan and probably Dickhead John in front of me, but I'm probably gonna have all sorts of other people that I don't even want in front of me that have actual badges and guns and things too, because I'm going to absolutely go off about them telling me who I can hand money to, because you can go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, dude, I don't. So I don't know. I didn't watch the shit show. I don't know if Bobby said this, but I had heard.
Bobby wasn't on the shit show.
No, when you talked to Bobby. I don't know
yeah.
if Bobby told you this, but apparently, and I don't know if this is true or not, apparently this all started with somebody from one of the teams pitched a bitch.
That is
one of the teams, not
something I've heard too.
The
But
team was not named. Not
Yep.
that I think that they cared, even if their name was out there, because it's Bobby and their team.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently there was a team that pitched a bitch, and it was funny because I wouldn't say that they got into it, but apparently Starling and Clayson even had a little bit of war of words on Twitter about this. Starling was like, "Dude, it's fucking annoying for all of us, but dude, go do you." And Clayson's like, "Bro, he's making like $3,000 off of this. Let him be."
Mm-hmm.
Like Clayson and Starling, I don't think they have beef. Cade's a dipshit, but
so I had heard Starling's name's been thrown around a lot, and I had heard it.
But Cade was sticking up for him.
Yeah, and I had heard it was a thing of, like, it was loud because it was echoing through the garages or whatever. That's fine. And Bobby's buddy, who was on the shit show, had said, like, hey, and he's like, everybody lost their cool, so, like, and that was on all sides. He did not throw blame necessarily directly on either side. He was just like, everybody at one point got very heated and lost their cool. But he said, when there was calmer heads prevailing, it was more of a, hey, what do we need to do? Do you not want it to be the race bike? Do we need to get the practice bike out? If we can't be right here, is there somewhere we can be? All sorts of stuff like that. And I think the biggest part of this whole thing, the reason this whole thing got blown out of proportion, is because of the history that has gone on between the security guard and Bobby with all sorts of different stuff. And again, there is one side, the other side, and the middle, which is the truth, okay? There's Bobby's side, which we've all heard. There is Feld and John's side there, which, here's the thing with Feld, and I completely agree with Cooksey on this. You're backing up this security guard after there's been these accusations of him not being the most upstanding person, and you're backing him, it would be very easy for this to have all gone away had Feld just been like, you know what, John, why don't you not come to the next couple of races? And they made a public statement about that. I think everything would have been a lot less than what it is now. But now it's a big deal. It's a huge deal.
So he got suspended for the race, and then he got like 6 months probation or something.
Something dumb like that.
See, the thing that really pisses me off about all of this.
And what was the rule? Because Bobby's guy said they asked, hey, what rule are we breaking?
I was about to say, this is what I was going to get to. Here's the thing that pisses me off all about this, and once again, this is just Feld. Thank you, Sean Brennan. This is Feld just once again, well, you could even say with the AMA, not being transparent about things. They say it was, so I'm still unclear as to why, what was the suspension for?
Detrimental to the sport.
Okay, detrimental to the sport. Okay, so here's my question to you. And we could talk about this for a very long time with a many number of guys. We know some guys that would talk about this off the record, talk about it on the record, privateers-wise. Because even when we had Brees on last year, he mentioned some of his concerns with the bullshit he's had to go through. Not that, but bullshit. I still don't know what detrimental means, because here's the thing. Are you just saying detrimental, but are you doing it because you're backing your guy John? Are you doing it because, you can't take donations? Or how about let's just really break this down. We know what this is about. It was because a team pitched a bitch about the fucking noise, and you just ran with that, but then you saw another opening for another reason to fuck Bobby over and just say, it was detrimental, but yeah, it's because here's the thing. I think had the team, whichever team this was, never pitched a bitch, this has been going on for how many rounds now?
Well, so that's part of it. The other thing that's been thrown around, and I
just want to know, what the fuck did he actually get suspended for?
And I believe it was Cooksey who said this, is because, let's face it, he was making money doing this.
And guess what? Feld wasn't getting a dime of it.
Wasn't getting a dime of it. And Cooksey has said this, he bets by next year, you see a rev station put on by Feld where you can walk up and give him $20 and rev a bike.
Like CBD. Oh, that's weird. Huh.
And I'm here to tell you, you want to hear me rant? Please put a rev station in the pits.
Kind of like, it's kind of weird. You can buy Jetson. Granted, that's a totally different thing, but it's still down the same line.
So
it's a little weird. Yep. Jetson donuts, you can all of a sudden buy them in the stadium for a 4-pack for whatever it is.
$30. But so here's the thing, though. They have they pay a percentage to Feld. They pay
I know
a
that.
percentage
I'm saying
to the stadiums.
We knew Jetson with donuts, and then Feld figured out a way to make this a cool thing. And what I'm saying is that Feld ripping off other people's shit. Same thing with content that they're ripping off from. You can't put this on there, but yet they fucking run it on their promos.
Have you heard about the Johnny thing?
No.
They've removed 2 of Johnny's videos. You know how Johnny used to do the track map walkthrough on Thursdays or whatever?
Yeah.
They've removed 2 of them now.
Like I said, it's the same bullshit that we've bitched about. All of us, you, Johnny, me, Coach, Cooksey, all of us have bitched about. It's the same thing. It's just Feld over and over, and now with that knowledge that we know, it's going to get even worse next year.
And here's the thing. Don't be surprised if Sean says something to me or whatever now. Here's the thing. I emailed Sean and asked about their stance on what the fuck's happening here with the whole Bobby thing. They didn't respond.
Look,
I sent a very professional email.
Because we know you watch this show. Sean, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to say the things that Travis says. I don't really give a shit. I don't agree with your stances, but I'm going to tell you this right now. Bobby Piazza is a friend of this show. We like Bobby. We like his girlfriend. It's the only way this dude makes money. He doesn't make night shows. He's better outdoor rider, but he don't make night shows. How do you expect him to go to your events when you're taking the one sole income he has because he doesn't make it from making a night show? It's bullshit. It's beneath you guys. It's sad. And you know what? Fuck you guys.
Hey, Bobby was still at the race this weekend. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. He was giving out free T-shirts, and people were signing his bike.
Good.
And here's the funny thing. Here is the thing that's come out with all of this, okay? All these privateers are starting to figure out workarounds, right? Because for years here, it's been like, I can't sell merch. I can't do this. I can't do that type stuff to make money. And now they're starting to figure out workarounds like, hey, I need a donation, and you can just have this free T-shirt. Or like, hey, here's a donation, and you can rev the bike.
Because here's the wild thing.
Or all this stuff. And now all of a sudden here with this Bobby thing, Now all of a sudden it's, oh, you can't take donations. Get the fuck out of here.
So next
Just
So
stop.
next thing, are you going to tell me that they're not going to let Kev do his fucking helmet wraps and not put all the shit on the bike?
Well,
and,
see, that's
and next
been
thing you
brought
know,
up,
are you going
too.
to tell Logan Carnow he can't be sponsored by OnlyFans? And
That-
you're going to tell Jace Kessler he can't be sponsored by OnlyFans?
See, this kind of stuff's been brought up too.
It's
of
gonna
like-
it's gonna domino effect.
I was gonna say of like, okay, cool. So now Kev's got people's names on his bikes because they're donating. So are you gonna? He can't do that kind of promotion.
And once
anymore?
again, Logan Carnow is getting donations from OnlyFans.
And I'm not
people.
even talking about Kev with the people that walk up in the pits and give him $100 to sign the bike.
By the way, for anybody listening, this is not a conversation we have had with Kev. We're just having this off the top of our head. This is a domino effect, though, guys.
Yeah.
This is a domino effect. You're going to get to the point that no privateer is going to be able to make any money outside of just going and making it into the night show.
Well, so here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, and this has been talked about this week too. Is okay, you bring in Ducati, you bring in Triumph, and like we're talking about now, you have 8 or 9 factory teams essentially, all with 2 guys. You make a few of them with 3. That's your 22-man gate.
Hey, privateers, go race arena cross or go to Canada because you ain't making a main.
Yeah, privateers are out of it. You know?
It's sad to me that Bobby Piazza doesn't make night shows. This is his one sole source of income, and he's spending his whole source of income through his 20s to go chase a dream at your guys' event, and you want to take away the money that he's making just to go race your events. It's the most ass backwards thing I've ever heard in my life. You're taking away the money. So guess what? He doesn't get those donations. Guess what, guys? I know that Bobby Piazza on your radar is real fucking small. Bobby Piazza, that's just another dude that is not at your races because, oh yeah, you took away the one way he could make it to your own events.
Here's the thing,
Fucking
too.
stupid.
Here's the thing, too. John, I'm going to speak directly to you. So, Sean, if you can translate this message, would be awesome for me. If I'm ever around, John, and I hear you tell a privateer what you told Bobby about his riding, there's going to be an issue. I'll say that right now. I'll say that right now. A guy who really can't ride is going to have an issue with you, and it ain't going to go well for you.
I really wish Jared Lesher was taking donations to rev the shit out of his 252 stroke.
I told Kev to take the 2-stroke and let people rev it.
Rev the shit out of it.
I'm like,
Because
dude,
now the thing is you're starting beef
'Cause
with somebody that everybody knows.
I was gonna say,
obviously, Kev's not going to do that.
because
but-
me and Kev have talked about this weeks ago when it first came around of Bobby doing this and like making a couple $3,000 a weekend. I was like, dude, if you can take the 2-stroke there and let people rev it, like holy shit, because then it's like Bobby's being
Kevin Moranz's
sketchy.
bike.
Yeah, well, and it's a 2-stroke.
Yeah.
So
The thing that just annoys me, the last thing I'll say on this is the thing that just annoys me about all of this is once again, you're talking about a dude that the one sole income that he has to make it to your races,
yeah, and the
you're taking it away.
Suspension's just bullshit. Like you just reached in your pocket and pulled something out.
And if it really
It's
comes
fucking
out,
stupid.
if it really comes out through back channels that this all started just because a team pitched a bitch, guys, this is fucking dirt bike racing. How about you go to a fucking a race car event
yeah,
and tell me, dude, it's dirt bikes. Oh my god! Like, are you kidding me? You're pitching a bitch about noise. Go to a Formula One race and tell me if that's annoying all day. And I talk about 20,000. Just get out of here, dude. Just get out of here. I understand for some people, but it's like, oh my god, dude, it's the middle of the day. It's not like this is going on past everybody's sleeping and just revving the shit out of it. And dude, for a lot of these people that have never been to a race, never even sat on a dirt bike, rev the shit out of it. That's cool for them.
Mm-hmm.
Kidding me? The whole thing is absolutely ridiculous.
Randy Richardson was saying he paid for his chick to do it at Daytona or something.
I love too the fact that as this John guy is yelling with Bobby and Bobby's talking to the camera, everybody just keeps going up and handing him more
money.
and more money, and they're like, "Dude, love it!" And they're just walking around and like looking at John and then handing Bobby money, and I'm like, "Good. Like Bobby has to make money. Like, oh my god, are you kidding me, dude? Get off your small man syndrome shit and go sit down." Jesus,
Can't handle this.
I can't either, dude. It's getting. This is just another check on just the shit that's going on within our own industry.
I'm just saying I am only going to be allowed to watch these races on TV from now on. So
Look, dude, you know what? Like I just said, I don't even have a beef with Sean Brennan, but it's like, dude, this is bullshit. This is absolutely ridiculous. This whole thing.
might be like, yeah. I mean, I've tried to be cool with Sean and them, they don't want to be cool with me because they don't like my views and they don't want to talk about it.
Like I said,
and I am vulgar and I do say things that, like, yes, I probably should tone it down, and like some of the things I've said today, I probably should tone back a little bit. But you know what?
Remember what I said a while ago?
I just don't care.
Remember what I said a while ago when people only find issues with things when they know there's actually some truth behind it? Mm-hmm. Bingo.
Yeah.
You only find issues with shit that other people say when you know there's some truth behind it.
Yep. So, all right. We've been going for a long time here. Let's get through this 250 class. All right. 250 class race recap brought to you by our friends at Adept Creative Co. for all your graphics needs, which I have a fresh set of plastics over there. We're going to need some graphics, so I got to hit them up soon. All right. Max Anstey wins.
Love it.
He
Love
was
it.
gone.
Dude,
That was
I honestly
so good.
I honestly don't know how I missed when it started downpouring. I'm just thinking, oh yeah, Jet, Hunter, Max, guys who are light on the bike, like, you know, guys who use their lower body, like that'll probably be your podium. How did I forget about my boy Max Anstey, arguably the best mud rider in the world? And he even said it. He was like, 2017 MX of Nations, bro, I got this shit.
I'm the best mud rider.
I'm the best fucking mud rider in the world. And I love that he said it. Like, he didn't say it cocky. He was just like, dude, I'm the best mud rider in the world. Like, come on now.
Dude, his whole thing of like, yeah, so during the race, all I was thinking was like, man, this bonus check's going to be awesome.
I'm gonna turn your reef upside down, and I'm like, oh, I love it, dude.
Fantastic.
I love it. I love it. And I love how they
Fantastic.
acknowledged on the broadcast. They're like, you wait until Max, he gets down that box. And
He's
it's going to be
just
great.
it's awesome.
Oh, it was awesome, dude. And I'm so happy for him. And I really hope that, you know, because he's been on the struggle bus the last couple rounds. Like,
Yeah.
Indy, he was just kind of there. Detroit, he went down on the first lap of the main.
Shifter
He did-
issue, yeah.
Yep. So, he didn't even finish that main, if I remember
No,
correctly.
yeah, the bike kept jumping out of gear.
Yep, and then in Atlanta, he was just kind of there. Like,
Yeah.
whatever's been going on with him, he started the year off great, second in the points, was solid at Daytona. I hope this is a kind of a confidence boost for him.
Yeah.
Because he's only 1 point back now of Hayden.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to get him. I think Max is going to get second in the points. Because if Max from early in the year shows up,
Yes.
early in the year, and that's what I'm saying, I hope this is a confidence boost for whatever's been going on with him.
For sure.
Because, you know, I really like Max, and I want to see him do well, and it'd be just really cool for that team.
Here's what I really love about Max. He is just out there preaching, I'm Supercross only.
Well, and I was going to bring that up. I find that hilarious, too, because don't get it twisted. It's not like Max doesn't like riding outdoors. It's just he knows.
Did you hear him in the press conference? He literally said, if I want to ride outdoors, I go back and ride GPs.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the thing. And we know why, though, because of the money thing. Because he knows in his head he's going to be underpowered on that bike. I don't care if that bike was a 300 kit.
Yeah.
He'd be underpowered, especially with this year. And he knows, hey, even if I go get top 5 outdoors, which on a 250, unlikely, 450, yeah, okay, he's going to make nothing. He's going to make nothing. And
Yeah.
you know what? You know, I'm fine with the fact he's in the point of his career, even though he's already made good money in the GPs. He wants to make more money. He's got a family. Like, good for him. He knows. I have no issue with that. So don't get it twisted. It's not like Max doesn't like riding outdoors. It's just he wants to make money. So good for him. Yeah, he was gone, man. And I honestly think he backed it off. Not saying Jet wasn't riding really good, but Max, like, dude, he was gone. Made a few mistakes in the whoops, shit line. But he was gone. There was no doubt in my mind that he was not going to win that main. Even with Jet coming, like, Max is just, he might be the best mud rider in the world.
Yeah.
He's proved it before. And good for him, man. Like, it's fucking awesome. He's a Supercross winner.
He is.
He's a Supercross winner. He's on a satellite privateer team. Good for him, dude. I'm stoked for that guy.
Yep.
I love that dude.
Yep. Second place, Jet Lawrence. Okay, let's talk here.
Oh boy, you're pulling the mic down. You're getting your serious face on.
What are your thoughts on that RJ move?
Fucking loved it, dude. All right, so here's the thing. First off, kudos to RJ for having the balls to just fucking drive it in there harder than ever. Dude, but here's the thing, crazy for me. I don't know about you, but I didn't even realize RJ was like there. Like when
didn't
Jet
either.
came down the start line and he like looked over, I didn't really like pay attention to what he was looking at. And then I'm looking at Max, and all of a sudden I see a fucking white dart just like, whoo, and I'm like, no fucking way. That was RJ.
Yeah.
Like, when Jet was, like, looking over, and like I said, I was paying attention to Max out of the corner of my eye, so I didn't realize that was RJ. And I'm like, why? What the fuck is Jet? Like, what's he looking at? And I don't even know if Jet knew that somebody was there, because, like, how would he have?
Yeah.
Because, like, RJ was, like, marking
He
him.
knew somebody was there, but he
But
didn't
he
know
didn't know
who
who
it
it
was.
And then all of a sudden, I'm watching Jet come down to the start, and I'm just like, oh, okay, Jet's going to mail in for a second. All of a sudden, I see this white fucking dart just wide open. I'm like, what the fuck? That's fucking RJ. What the fuck is he doing? Boom. And I'm like, holy shit.
Dude, and it was hilarious because when you watch the replay, it's a total RJ move of he's crashing before
He was horizontal for like 30 feet.
Dude, by the time he got to the entrance of the berm there,
He was already. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. It's an RJ thing, but honestly, I think it was RJ also realizing, dude, if I'm gonna bonsai it in, I have to start getting a lean angle on this because if I try to dive it in, I'm taking both of us over the fucking berm.
It was such an RJ move. And
RJ move, but he was also, I think, using his brain because I think he knew that had he just bonsai'd in, they were both going over the berm because he wasn't going to stop.
And poor RJ though,
he's just sitting there trying to get the bike up.
He got the karma for it. He couldn't get the bike up.
But then he
start.
But then he was making it like his face. He was like, yeah, whatever. Like I fucked up, But dude. I know this is about Jet, but kudos to fucking RJ because it's like, dude, you know what, bro? You tried, you failed, but holy fuck, dude, where did you come from?
I don't know.
Like, he had to have just been, in his mind, coming out of that left-hander, he had been like, dude, I'm just going to hold it fucking wide open. I'm a fucking... Because that's what he did, dude, because that
was torpedo.
That husky came out of fucking nowhere. I was
just
like,
a torpedo.
Did you realize it was RJ, though?
No.
Like, did you just see...
I didn't know what happened other than I see Jet go down. I kind of saw Jet go down because they were following Max. I'm like, did Jet just go down? What's happening? And then they pan back and they're like, hey, Jet Lawrence is down. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I just see Jet standing on his bike. Like,
I just remember like the back end of it, and I just see this white dart, and I'm like, holy fuck, dude. Did RJ really try that?
Yeah,
But here's the thing, though, man. He had to have known in his mind early on in the lap that that's what he's going to do. All I have to say is, could you imagine if he would have made that pass stick? That would have been the sickest thing I've ever fucking seen.
Dude, I don't even know. Like, here's my question. What's the plan? Like, literally, was that plan just to saw off the front?
No, because like I said,
that was where you were coming from.
Because I don't think his plan was because he knew. I think that's why he leaned in as early as he did. I don't think he wanted to try to take Jet out. I just think he thought he was like, dude, I'm going to torpedo it in. And the only thing I can think of is I'm going to stick it in on him, and it's going to work.
It was wild.
But here's the thing. I loved it on the podium. Jet was just kind of like, I didn't even know what just happened. But then he was like, as he saw him, he was like, oh, he was already crashing before he hit me. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
And then Hunter's like.
Yeah. Can we talk about Jet wearing, like, the poncho, too?
Yeah, that was weird.
That was super weird.
I also liked how the whole time on the podium, them just try to, like, give Daniels just, hey, man, you want some
Yeah, you want a hug? You want some mud?
In the moments, look, I've always said I'm not a Jet fan. I don't have a problem with the kid. It's more as fans. But that was a funny podium because Daniel's just like, Daniel's like, thanks, Jet.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck off of me.
Oh, man, that was awesome.
It was great, but he rode great. Man, hey, man, fucking awesome. Rode good. It's a bummer that we didn't get to see the showdown. Like I said, I think we're going to see it in Salt Lake. But hey, man, he was good. Definitely not without some adversity because like there was a moment where I was like,
well, can we talk about that heat race too? That heat race was weird because didn't get a good start, then didn't seem to be moving forward, and then all of a sudden him and Pierce start battling. And I had in my notes they battled forward.
See, I want to talk about Pierce when we get to him. But dude, this is the second time this year because remember back at A2, was it the first main? Jet was coming through. Because he went down in the first. Yeah. He went down in the first lap, and RJ when he won it, and he got behind Pierce, and him and Pierce pushed all the way towards RJ and almost passed him.
Yeah.
So something about when those two, and I don't know if this links back to last year East Coast, but
maybe
when those
all
two,
Pierce needs to do is get a start and just be right with Jet.
Yeah, I was about to say because like something about Jet being behind him makes Pierce a better rider. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing, but yeah, dude, that was a weird heat race. But yeah, like Jet just rode good. He was solid, clearing away the best dude all day in practice.
Dude, how about that last lap of that heat race? 46.5.
Yeah, that was wild. That was
he was flying. I thought he was going to get RJ.
No, I definitely did too. I think if he had another lap, he would have. But I also think too he probably would have had to been a little bit more aggressive because I think RJ at this point just wants to try to win as much as possible.
Yeah.
Clearly he wants to beat him, but I don't think it's a malicious thing. I don't think it's the fact that he like hates Jet because he's praised Jet a few different times in interviews.
and he honestly
he just wants to beat
the
him.
way he talks is like, dude, I'm not that kid's level.
But he just wants to beat him because I think it's just, hey man, if I can beat Jet at all,
just a feather
it's
in
an
my
accomplishment.
cap.
Yeah, it's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, Jet rode good. Definitely wrapping this title up. Yeah, it's gonna go down a little.
Is it weird that like he has less of a lead than Hunter does?
Yeah, I think you would also say that Nate, when he's healthy, was more of a challenge than RJ and McAdoo when they were healthy. So it is a little weird. I I don't know, man. I think even though Jet is so much far and away better than everybody on the West Coast, it just seems like those West Coast races have been crazy because, like, Jet's either getting a shit start and working his way through or, like...
just winning by 30 seconds.
Yeah, so it's, like, it's weird, but...
Yeah. And Hunter gets third, and... that was a weird night for him, or whole weird day for him too.
But not riding during the week, we found this out.
Yeah, groin injury.
Hayden tried to throw it in on him there for a second.
Yeah, so that's funny too because I was watching something with the Deegans today from last night, and him and Brian were talking back in the pits, and basically they were just like, "Yeah, you got impatient, dude," and he was like, "Yeah, I know I did." He's like, and they were like, "Honestly, you were catching him. If you'd have been more patient, not just throwing it in there, you wait one more lap, you're probably getting him." Because Hayden's like, this is the first time all year I've caught. He's like, that I was riding. That I was like, holy shit, I'm catching Hunter.
Yeah.
Because he's like,
well, even they said that on the broadcast.
Yeah.
They were like, holy crap.
Yeah. And he might have actually, had he not thrown it in there, he might have actually passed him and like been on the box again, which would have been wild.
Here's the thing is, he still would have had to pass Voland. And Voland was riding, and we'll get to Voland too. He was riding really well.
Yeah.
Well, he also would have had to pass RJ.
Yeah.
So, maybe. What do you think the talk, though, is that if Hayden takes out Hunter?
Dude, who knows?
Because there's a part in my mind where I was thinking that whole day yesterday, I was like, what if the Rook just goes for it? What if the rookie just fucking...
Well, didn't he do it in the heat, too?
He tried. Well, he tried to, but I don't... Yeah. But part of me was just thinking, look, dude, this kid's got nothing to lose. He's 35 down. What happens if he just tries to take him out? I don't know if it's going to end well for him, but like, whatever he just tries to take him out. So I think it would have been interesting to see what happened. But I mean, yeah, finding out that Hunter didn't ride, he's got a growing injury from Atlanta or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of in manage mode. Let's be real. He's going to wrap it up this coming weekend. He's 49 up on Hayden.
Yeah.
50 up on Max. So
yeah,
he's going to wrap it up.
Yep. Okay, next up, Max Volan fourth. Dude, that was a good day for him.
And it's not even the mud, dude. He was riding good in the heat race.
He was riding good in practice.
Why can't this Max Volan show up every round?
I don't know. He's going to...
Cowie?
Husky.
I thought... So, did you hear the rumor, now I feel like we're getting off track, that Joe might go to Husky?
No, Joe's going to Honda.
Is that confirmed?
Yes.
It's weird. I don't like that.
I don't know that it's signed yet, but he is. And you want to know why? Because he can sign his own gear deal. That's why Volan's going to Husky also. So, Shimoda's going to go to Honda because obviously the Japanese don't want a Japanese kid to be on an Austrian brand. That'd just be weird. There still is a light rumor floating out there about the Husky thing, but everybody's like, there's no way. There's no way. So, Shimoda's going to go to Honda, plus Honda's going to want someone opposite coast of Hymas and someone who can actually win. So, boom.
Well, and Kitchen's going to KTM, so Volan's out.
Which is what gives credence to Hunter going 450. And then you have Volan is getting, air quotes, demoted. But here's the other reason why he's going to Husky. Husky is not going to be running a fly racing team deal next year. For gear.
So
he's going to be able to do his own gear deal next year too, which I think you're only going to have a matter of years before the star stuff and the PC stuff is going to stop, because all these kids are going to realize, well, I can get an extra 150, 200 grand a year through a gear deal if I can go to one of these teams where I can run a gear deal also.
Well, that's another reason why Kitchen's going to KTM.
Yeah.
Because he wants his gear deal, you know.
Yep.
So that's interesting. But I really wish Max could find whatever that is, find the confidence. I do agree with, I think it was Daniel that said this maybe during the day. Yeah, during qualifying. I expect big things out of Volan come outdoors. We always know he's an outdoor guy. I expect him big things. I think he's going to be one of the next best of the rest. I think there's a tight group there.
Yeah.
Volan's going to be good. Like, I just wish this Volan would show up all the time because the kid has so much talent.
You got to remember, though, he's still young. He's 19.
Well, he's kind of like in the kitchen thing. He hasn't raced a lot of Supercross.
Yeah.
But I just wish this kid would show up, man, because damn, dude, if he could get everything figured out, which he's obviously has a lot of time, the kid is special. He's I was hesitant when he came in to be on board, but dude, seeing the things that kid can do on a dirt bike, God, he's fun to watch ride when he's feeling it. Because here's another thing too. He don't fucking care. He sends it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the, what was it, the quad at, what was the one round after
Oakland?
Where he was the only one doing the quad in the corner, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
So I just, whatever he has, I don't know if it's a mental block because it's a fear thing in Supercross. If he could get over that, dude, I could see him being a title contender in a year or two.
Yeah.
I really could. He's got the speed. So I'm happy that he finally got a top 5.
Yeah.
Because he definitely deserves it. So
Enzo Lopes is 5th.
is he riding outdoors?
No. He's going to go ride in Brazil.
Probably make more money.
He is probably. He is there's teams sniffing him though.
Where do you think he should go?
I don't know. I don't know what teams are sniffing him. I haven't heard that yet, but there's teams sniffing. Phil's running the deals.
I'm going to assume it's either PC, because that was a talk a couple years ago.
I bet it's Pro Circuit.
It's got to be, because that was a talk about a year ago. Yeah. There was rumors of him at Pro Circuit, because I think he did a test with them.
Yeah.
So he probably going to end up on Pro Circuit.
That's probably where it is too. But but I've heard they're sniffing him. But man, he's having a good season.
Or he can go to Hemp.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Well, he could go ride World Supercross.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, maybe. So Deegan 6th.
good day. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's fine.
yeah, he was good all day. I mean, just kind of doing Deegan things. Good, solid.
Yeah.
Made it through without a bonehead move outside of that. But a bonehead move is in the sense of didn't yard sail himself.
Yep.
Off. Pace was good in the heat race, but you can definitely tell once again there's a pecking order when everybody's healthy. But dude, this kid's either going to end up at second or third in the points.
Yeah.
I really want to see I really hope that it's dry in Salt Lake, because I really want a good actual idea of these East-West dudes when everybody's everybody that's
Where does
there.
where does he fall in outdoors?
So you want me to be honest, and this is not being critical of the kid.
Oh boy, here we
no,
go.
No.
Soundbite.
No. It's not going to be. It's not going to be clickbait or no. It's going to be my honest opinion. I think outdoors, he's 9 to 12. Because I think you have the 5.
Yeah.
And then I think you have RJ, Kitchen, Hammaker, and Volan. And then I think Hayden's in that next group.
Okay.
Because I don't think there's any reason to think that Hayden's with those. He's not going to be with the 5.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but there's 5. The 5 we've already mentioned. It's the 5, and then there's no reason to think that he's with RJ, Kitchen, Voland, or Hammaker yet.
Yeah.
So 9 to 12, I think so.
Okay.
Now where do you think? And I know you, Coach, touched on this. Where do you think though? Had that race been dry, where do you think he slots in there?
I think he's in top 5 easy.
You think so? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think so. I think he can definitely beat Lopes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Does he get up there with Volan? I don't know. And then again, is Anstey winning?
We're going to find out in
Nashville.
Nashville. We're going to find out in Nashville.
Yeah. So, all right.
Because Anstey was beating Hayden
Yeah.
pretty easily at the beginning, but once again, whatever.
Carson Mumford 7th. That was okay ride. I have no.
So I don't know about this, and I don't know maybe if you do or maybe you don't. Maybe there's been no rumblings. Is his deal, because we know a lot of those Cowie dudes are hurt for outdoors, is his deal transferring over into outdoors? Is he not even
From
getting
what
a shot?
I heard last week, he has nothing planned for outdoors right now.
That is the stupidest thing, because
he has 2 more rounds, and then that's it for right now.
because they have 3 dudes for outdoors.
Yeah.
I think it would be in because Reynolds ain't happening.
Ryder-
McAdoo is not coming back.
Ryder D.
No. Who's on the team? Who's
Yeah.
going to be right? So it's just gonna be Ryder D, Joe, and Hammaker. McAdoo's out. Fortner's out.
So he'll probably end up there, but I don't know. We'll see.
I think he should get a shot.
I think so,
I want to
too.
see what he can do on that bike outdoors,
I think so too.
because he's been a top 10 dude on less than.
But as
stellar.
of last week, from what he was saying on the different things I was listening to, he doesn't know.
Well, then he's not riding outdoors.
Colin Park 8th. That was a good comeback for going through the LCQ there.
Yeah. I mean, that team has definitely had some ups and downs this year. Fucking seems like him and Cody Schock have just finding each other in LCQs.
9th place. Joe Shimoda doesn't ride good in the mud.
We saw that at MX of
Saw it
Nations,
at MX of
which is weird
Nations.
considering he's a Japanese kid because it rains a lot in Japan.
Yeah, last night was also not good.
Heat race though was good.
Heat race was really good. When it was dry, it's
So
fine.
here's
He's not
my
a mud
question.
guy, though.
Here's my question. Yeah, which once again is really weird. Here's my question to you. And we have 2 more rounds to figure this out, but it's kind of not a good base setting because once again, we're at the end of the season. Does that heat race, even though Hunter, he was pacing him, but we know Hunter didn't ride much. Does that kind of prove though that we kind of thought that Joe could have been in there for this title hunt?
Oh, yeah. I thought that last week when he got 4th.
Oh, God, dude. I wish he would have been healthy.
Yeah.
Because I really think he would have made Hunter work. I mean, Nate did
Probably.
too, but I really think he would have made Hunter work for this title. Because Joe's just good, man. He is finding his footing. He knows who he is. It sucks that he's afraid of that bike. But, yeah, I truly believe he would have given Hunter everything he could handle for this title had he been healthy.
100%. Chris Blows, 10th. That's pretty good.
Not a mud guy either. All those days of riding in Arizona.
Yeah. Pierce Brown, 11th.
So, yeah, just Pierce needs to have Jet Lawrence on him every fucking race because I don't know what it is when Jet's behind him, but all of a sudden he just finds another gear because did you notice the moment Jet passed him?
Yeah. Yeah.
The fuck happened to him?
I don't know.
But Jet's behind him, and all of a sudden he's just finding a second and a half a lap. I don't know what it is.
Kitchen, I think, went down a couple of times, 12th.
Kitchen was underwhelming all day for me.
Yeah.
Even before the main. He wasn't there in practice. He wasn't there in the heat race. A little weird for me considering how well he did at Glendale.
Yeah.
I really thought after getting on the box he would have came out swinging, but, whatever.
RJ, after trying to torpedo, is 13th. And that's just because they lapped up to 13th.
Yeah, man, because had he not done that, he would have been on the box.
Yeah. Here's one that's weird. Tom Vial, 14th. That was I don't know if he went down. We'll have to find out this week.
He was good in that heat race, though.
But that was, he was.
I mean, he was catching
and
Smitty and
He was
Deegan
good in qualifying, too.
Yeah, he was
during
good in
the day,
qualifying.
but, so it's super weird that, because I would have thought, again, GP guy, riding
But
mud.
Supercross in the mud is also obviously
It's different, yeah.
I think Vial's just trying to make it through the rest of Supercross and not
Probably,
get landed
yeah.
on.
Luke Neese, 15th.
Good for him on making that main. That LCQ was wild.
Yeah.
By the way, I hope Josh Varese is okay.
Me too, because
that was
laying there.
that was a ragdoll.
Yeah.
That was a wild LCQ though. Dude,
It was.
if you're Henry Miller right now, dude, fucking Henry Miller and Hunter Yoder, how do you go from getting 6th in a main to
Yeah.
not making it the next weekend?
don't know.
Also, did you
Welcome to Privateer Island.
do you check Mathis's Twitter?
No.
At all?
No.
So I was only
I'm
checking.
on Twitter 0%.
So I was only checking it because I wanted to see the updates, and apparently he was sitting next to two dudes at the race that had Hunter Yoder as their fantasy, and he goes, "I had heard words that I didn't think were real." Apparently, also there was a streaker.
Yeah, you haven't seen that?
No, I did.
It wasn't really like
well,
a
he had his shirt
full-blown-
off.
Yeah,
but,
he had his shirt off. But
yeah,
yeah,
but still,
no, I
whatever.
saw that.
Fucking idiots.
Dylan Schwartz makes the main, courtesy of Hunter Yoder and
Dude, if you're Dylan Schwartz, you're like, did I just?
What the fuck just
did?
happened?
Did I just make the main?
Yeah, so 16th for him. Cody Schock, 17th.
Oh God, he's waiting for outdoors.
Jordan Smith must have crashed too. 18th for him.
Oh, his day was shit. Fucking goes down.
Poor Jordan Smith.
Goes-
Jordan Smith just doing Jordan Smith things.
Goes down twice in the second practice, pulls her off, running fourth in the heat race, catching Deegan, and then just fucking downpours. Poor Jordan Smith.
Good old Jordan Smith.
God, dude, I hope he can make it through outdoors without dying.
Michael Hicks, 19th. Robbie Wageman, 20th. Cole Thompson, 21st. And Jace Owen, 22nd.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that Jace Owen didn't ride better. He's, being up from this part of the country, a little bit better in the mud, but
Yeah.
wild night. Wild night.
It sure was a mutter. That's for sure. So, all right. We have now been going for, well, we started late, so that's why it's late, but 2.5 hours here. So that's going to be show 234. Justin, it was great to see you, man.
Yeah, man, I'll be here for the rest of them, and we'll do some outdoors and shit. And
That's good. Just make sure your hair's done and your face is trimmed up the way it is. Otherwise, you're off the show because we're just using you for your sex appeal at this point.
thanks, man. I'm trying. I'm really
So-
trying.
Don't ask me who's going to win this week. I don't know. My brain's not working right now. I'm tired.
Hondas.
I need to go eat and go to bed.
Hondas are gonna win.
Yep. So, all right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. This has been show 234. Thanks to our sponsors, Complete Racing Solutions, TLR Coatings, Holster Co., Gutter Works, Adept Creative Co., Isaac Nelson Design, and Edgewood Farms. Links in the description down below to all of them. I will have a fantasy show this week. We'll be back next week with a wrap-up show for Nashville. And, we'll keep her wide here till the end of Supercross.
It's a day race.
Day race, which I fucking hate, too.
You don't like day races?
No, it throws my whole day. Like, it's weird. It's like an outdoor day because it's just like it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, gets done at 6 o'clock at night. So, like, the whole day is just shot. So, anyway, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back next week. See ya.